Let me adjust my camera. I have a...
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. Thanks for level 1 of the Hype Train. Remember, every level of the Hype Train we get to means I have to don another layer of tinfoil armor. I hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday. We're going to look at some conspiracy theories, make fun of them, and debunk them if we can. So welcome everyone. Let's get to the bits, messages, and subs and everything that have happened while I was on the start screen. Austin Rosenberg says, can you watch this? Let me see what it is. What? One second. Here, watch, is there a sausage guy video? Give me 1 second. Watch him do this braised beef rib sausage.
Welcome back.
I'll be back in just a second. Keep the hype train going. I'll be back in just a second.
This is your new one for me. Just look at these short ribs. They look like Just look at these short ribs. You know, I gotta be honest with everyone. I got no idea what I'm doing on this one. Let's run at this with the enthusiasm of a guy who splits tens in blackjack. So it's the braised short ribs sausage. The dealer's showing his shit. Why would you take his bust card? I just raised my bet. Do I even need to mince these onions? I got screwed on this little guy. You know, now that I think about it, this probably could have used,
Hi,
some
everyone.
seasoning.
We'll finish this up real quick, and then we'll continue. So where was I? Winter Crow, thank you for 5 months, says, yo, 5 months already? Thanks for all you do, Hannah. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Nick says, I'm here for some annoying Nick Bush % speed running. Speedy Yoshi says, I feel like you or Baja would like this.
You know, you probably not the whole can should have gone in there.
It's like a coloring game or a drawing. It's like a drawing app.
Oh, you know, I wonder how many...
See, I'm not into this because I can't draw.
How's it going, Mr. Potato Sausage? Not...
Ooh, loud, sorry. Like, I can't picture things in my head very well, so I can't draw. Not that I have the prerequisite skills to take what's in my head and turn it into stuff anyway, but, you know. 11% of level 4 with 3 minutes left.
Alright, here we go. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Braised Short Ribs.
Psychotropic Thunder, thanks for 7 months, says lucky number 7. Kirthan says hype train choo choo. Nick says, did you hear Greg Locke got his Twitter account Minecrafted? No, but that's good news.
To put the beef broth in.
Bumble Homestead, thanks for gifting us up. Speedy Yoshi says, hey look, it's Peter. Ripping up a card from Cards Against Humanity to own the doctors.
Makes you
Not vaccinating my child because I'm stupid. Well, our Cards Against Humanity box... That's annoying when I'm talking, I'm sorry. Well, our Cards Against Humanity box was one less card. We were playing last night and we're ironically talking about how I'm against vaccinating. My friends actually converted after our conversation. Yay. Oh, God. After about 5 minutes later, I drew this card which said, not vaccinating my children because I'm stupid. We all had a good laugh after I ripped it up. Destroying your own property to own the libs. What a psycho. R. Wester V, thanks for 13 months, says, still loving the stream. Curious what happened to Snortling's Hollow. She just hasn't posted, really. She's been busy doing other stuff, I guess. Which is for the best. Maps and Mimics, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thrash Mio says, it's Thrash, Thrash M, or Thrash IO. Sorry. I'll go with Thrash. Rageology says, good to see you again. I was wondering if you were aware of this particular music game gem from some years ago. It's pretty good. Not Danzy good, but pretty good. New Monster with 30 bits, thank you. New Monster says, we had to reschedule our wedding ceremony due to COVID, and now I have a family member who claims not to be anti-vax, refusing to answer my questions about why their family isn't vaccinated. I'm tired and I'm ready for some drinking and Tinfoil Tuesday. I'm sorry, your family's being shitty. Just don't invite them. Seriously. Don't endanger your guests or yourself for idiots who aren't willing to get vaccinated. Overthought says, my stubborn brother finally got his second jab. Now the only one left in my family is my very right-wing uncle. Maps and Mimics with 100 bits says, bids for the Sausage King. Noetic Fox says, Call is my favorite lol cow because my boyfriend's dad was just like him. He believed I was literally a demonic warlock that used alchemy to make my boyfriend gay. Apparently, you cleanse you cleanse of the Holy Spirit with sage, and then cloves makes you attractive to everyone. This is why clove is in Coke. It basically has celebrities cast glamour on people, so they worship them. Never mind, I have not had a Coke since the 90s and never paid for cable once. October 16th will be our 16th. Oh, people are crazy. Ari Anon says, had my first day of work at my new job, Starbucks in a Kroger. My 2 older co-workers and I were talking about how stupid anti-vaxxers are, and my boomer co-worker said, I hope the MyPillow guy gets super sick. and maybe people will learn from it, and I laughed so hard. He probably won't. He's rich. Chrysia says, did you see the Orf discussion, Orc Dwarf? Yes. Vaguely. I saw Jake commented on it. I'm of the opinion, and this is just my opinion, like every DM's gonna be different. If your player wants to play a certain character, and as long as it's not completely game-breaking, but we're talking about, like, literally, like a race choice, right? We're not talking about, a mechanics thing. Let him do it. Let him do it. It's not just your game. Like, it's great that as a DM you have to come up with the world and some of the lore and stuff in the background, but that's just a backdrop for your characters. You should be able to adjust your world to suit the character that your player wants to play. That's not hard. I'll just put it this way. I would never want to play with a DM who is so invested in their own idea of what their world is that they aren't willing to adjust it for something a player really wants to do. I'm not saying your players need to, like, break the game, but if they want to play a certain race and it wasn't in your preconceived notion of how that world worked, you should be able to adjust that. I don't think that's difficult. Like, you could say, oh yeah, normally, even if you're like, normally orcs and dwarves wouldn't be together for some reason. Oh, they come from a very specific situation where that would be the case. Or they come from a place across the world where that's different. It's a fiction. Make shit up. Chrysia said, oh, that's the same one. Big Sweet Demon says, last of my bits for hype, you went live right as I was watching the last stream. Bass and I gotta ask, was he recording a girl without her consent? Because that's like 5 years right there. It was a social media post of hers, so it's not illegal, just creepy. Stone Corbell with 100 bits says, ooh. Narandia Owl, thanks for 6 months, says, hoot, time for tinfoils. Morak says, so remember how I was building that giant airship in Pathfinder? Well, it finally finished, and I should have done the math first, because the cost of fuel for a ship of its size is utterly prohibitive. So time to spend more time and money giving it better engines to eat spell slots for fuel. Yeah. Bumble Homestead with 500 bits, thank you. Not Tinfoil's GF, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Bumble Homestead gets a 25k bits badge. Joey is Strong, thanks for gifting a sub. The DAC, thanks for gifting a sub. Maps and Mimics, thanks for 55 bits. Let me get that music going again. Oops, that's the wrong one. Princess Amelia says, it lives! DM Trey, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Porcelain Giant, thanks for 10 months, as your makeup is really good today. I'm barely wearing any. I literally just have concealer right here because my lip is dark because of electrolysis and it's darkened the skin and I can't put stuff on to lighten it until after I'm done with electrolysis, and lipstick. So the rest is just my face. Thank you. Austin Rosenberg says, can you or someone else cancel the prediction? I can't. I've tried. For some reason it doesn't let me do it. I don't know why. So if a different mod wants to, that'd be cool. No one won the prediction, so... because I wrote it as, like, under 2 or over 2, but it was exactly 2, so no one wins. Sky Comet Fallen says, my brother is getting married, and the bride's family, not the bride herself, are anti-vax in general and overly religious. It's gonna be interesting. Not gonna be interesting. Gonna be a super spreader event. Rip Norm MacDonald. On top of SNL, he had some memorable animated roles. Yeah. I was sad to hear about Norm today. He unfortunately lost a battle with cancer that he was dealing with privately. Very sad. Sorry if anyone didn't hear that, and I'm the first person to tell you. That got announced a couple hours ago, I think. Amori Miku says, I was watching the Alex Chu VOD because I missed the stream. I found this explanation for the flag. Thank you. We'll take a look at that a little later. Everything else is taken, yo. Thanks for 16 months. Logarth with a link. Lawmaker switches from Republican to Democrat due to New Hampshire governor's anti-vaccine stance. That's good. Probably not going to mean much voting-wise, but still. You deleted the prediction and refunded the channel points? Thank you so much, Baha. I appreciate it. Rachology says, spare bits weighing me down and got to head to bed. Good night. Well, thank you very much. Hope you can catch the VOD later. DM Trey says, as a DM, I'm happy one of my players wants to be a plant demigod and another wants to be a cleric that worships the ideology of peace and philosophy. Yeah. It's a game, guys. Let your players do fun stuff. I'm not telling you let them break the game mechanics-wise, although that can be fun in its own ways if you give them that, but give them other things to weigh them down. But, like, let them play the characters they want to play. Noetic Fox says, the tabletop game City of Mist has you play a PC out of 4 factors that can literally be anything. Highly recommend the game. Oh, fun. Did your bits go through? I don't know. Did I miss them? Let me look. Ice Queen. Yeah, I missed them. I'm sorry. I have a character who is half orc, half dwarf. Her name is Orla Stoneforge. Cool. Alright, let me get my tinfoil. Mike Mack says, tell me these images are rap covers. Cute. Bing, 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 bing. Depending on when a shipment gets here, once I'm done with the stream, I might extend it as a little bit, and you guys can watch me try and install an SSD into my PlayStation 5. You guys can help me, and maybe watch me destroy a expensive SSD accidentally, because I've never done that before. But, for now, it's time for Tinfoil Tuesday. Got my gavel, got my tinfoil. I'm looking for those glasses. I know I had those glasses that were cool and were mirrored, like you know, shiny. We like shiny here. But I don't know where I put them. So, Bellum Guardian, thanks for subscribing for 9 months, says, what's up, gamers? Haven't been around for a while. Stream baby time. I'll name it in a sec. X Flowers for Brain says, hi, Hannah, almost missed your stream due to a flat tire. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can get that fixed. Tucker White says, with Norm Macdonald turning past tense, there's a big void in Adam Sandler's Okay, who owes me a favor list. David Spade and Rob Schneider will always be on that list. They are immortal. Unfortunately, in some cases. Brockagam says, can you wear the immortality rings over the gloves? I don't know if they'd fit. I can try. I got those Alex Chu immortality rings for anyone who missed. Yep, they fit. God damn it. Alright, I'll wear the immortality rings. I just gotta be careful not to get them near anything that can't be near magnets, because they're magnets. If they get uncomfortable, I'm taking them off, though. And they're already uncomfortable, so I don't know how long they'll last. Logard says, just ground yourself off before removing it from the silver plastic package. SSD heat sinks clip on pretty easily. My only concern would be if the heat sink fits inside the PS5. Other than that, it's plug and play. Dr. White says, let's be honest, this will be us while Hannah fucks up her PlayStation. And then it's a link.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Yeah, SSD. Did I say something other than a solid state drive? I don't know. Moppy Mutton says, I'm so sad I missed the Asian fascist incest porn guy. What a doozy. Brockagam says, hell yeah. Alright. It's raining outside. I assume you guys can hear the rain. Apologies. I need the windows open to keep it cool in here. Because, I don't know if you know this, reflective material gets very hot. That's why you wrap a... Well, it's a good insulator. Let me put it that way. I feel like a baked potato. Morok says, the entire point of my homebrew setting was to give as much freedom as possible to players. I specifically inspired by a mental image of as much, or of a huge 40k-esque space marine chilling by a bonfire with a Gandalf-style wizard. Alright, so this is the explanation for the Alex Chu fascist flag thing. This is from his website, or a link off of his website. No, this is from his website, alexchu.com. This is a newly designed modern Nazi flag designed by Alex Chu. The flag is 5x3. Ink is digitally printed on polyester cloth. Careful, Lou. Each flag has 2 brass holes. We have 2 types. One is the vertical hanging flag, and the other is the horizontal flag. The Chu symbol is actually the last name of Alex Chu in Chinese. It was redesigned to look more Nazi. God told me in 2010 that one day the Nazi party will overtake America. This is the most accurate thing Alex Chu has ever said, unfortunately. So I had to design a new flag, but you can't just take any symbol and make sense out of it. Hitler took the swastika because swastika represents a power force from the East. I think he picked it because he thought it looked cool. And it's like a good luck symbol, and there's other shit. He tilted it to make it a diamond shape because that's how Hitler signed his name, a tilted Hitler. And the tilted swastika also looked like a tilted H. Did it? Oh, you can buy them. Oh, no. Well, that's gross. How much are they? $15? I'm not paying for a Nazi flag. Like, it could be $1. I'll buy his stupid immortality rings. I'm not putting money on any sort of Nazi-related flag. Speedy Yoshi says Hannah in her tinfoil outfit be like...
You can see the tinfoil will immediately start arcing and emanating a blue glow. Why do you think this occurred? Because the tinfoil is metal and conducts electricity, the metal immediately begins to have a current when the microwave starts. The electricity on the metal jumps over the spaces between the ripples on the surface caused by crumpling the foil into a ball. When the microwave is stopped, the current goes away, and the foil is back to normal.
That seemed dangerous. Not worth it for a YouTube video. Make sure you get your bingo cards ready. We're gonna do bingo. For those, if anyone's here for the first time, I always forget that there might be people here for the first time. I should explain this. This is Tinfoil Tuesday. We do Tinfoil Tuesday bingo, where we look at conspiracy theories, and we make fun of them and debunk them when we can. And we also play bingo. On the bingo, if any of the topics come up, mark it on the bingo. The first person to get a bingo and send me their bingo card so I can check it to make sure they won, gets a gift sub. 1 win per month per person. If no one wins, I'll gift a sub randomly, though I forget to do that sometimes, so remind me if I forget. 1 card per person, please. It's an honor system. I can't come to your house and check your computer, but, you know, don't be a dick. D. Surio says, hello, Hannah, you look beautiful as ever. I'm trying to get back to D&D, but still made me remember my ex, and it hurts. Do you have any advice? That kind of stuff, in my experience, just with time. I know it's hard, but just, you know, have fun where you can, and the more new fun experiences you build with D&D that have nothing to do with that person, the less you'll associate it with that person, in my experience. And Colston says, I'm not going to buy after thinking about it for 15 seconds. I wouldn't have bought it, guys. Sky Comet Fallen says, my dad's watching Fox. At least I have Hannah and my headphones to counteract Fox cringe. Yeah, the California elections today, the recall election. So we'll see how that goes. So, okay, what do we have? We have Spirit Science saying, is Trump a time traveler? No? Christian Patriot News, a very reliable news source. Trump bombshell, they will decertify the 2020 election. Trump's epic return as president. Leak Project talking about Earth as a planetary farm for extraterrestrials. Next hybrid program is underway. That old chestnut. Speedy Yoshi says, just be like Styx and buy Nazi stuff. Unironically, don't actually do that. I think you mean ironically, air quotes. Speedy Yoshi says, I literally read that. Wow. Logarth says, Trump's a Time Lord. Ew. People who cheat at Tinfoil Tuesday Bingo are visited by Daddy Sume in the middle of the night. True. Call for an Uprising has some new videos. He has a strike on his main channel. Surprise! So we're going to watch some of his other videos. He has a 9/11 video out we're going to take a look at. He has a video where he thinks street lights that have malfunctioned are a conspiracy. CC's back with some videos. RV Truth has a Flat Earth video. This is a new channel that I haven't watched before, but I saw it on Jeff Holiday's stream, so I'm going to yoink. I'm just gonna start stealing lol cows from Jeff. Jeff, I know you watch these sometimes. I don't think you're here right now. But if you ever see this, I'm going to steal from you. And then Peter did a live stream. I caught the end of it yesterday, but we might skim through and check out what was there. Alright, so what are we doing first? Let's start with, this is a brief video, so we haven't covered Spirit Science in a while, so Spirit Science has this video called, Is Trump a Time Traveler? Let's check it out. I also have 2 hydrates. I missed one 12 minutes ago, so I'll do 2 big gulps while we watch this video.
Hey there! Before we begin, I have a quick announcement I'd love to make. For several months now, we've been toiling in secret on a special new series discussing conspiracies after a massive surge of you guys asking for it. So we thought we'd try our hand at the subject and see how it goes.
Like everything else you post aren't conspiracy theories? What?
Now normally, we've been posting a new parable every Wednesday, but now Patch Parables is shifting to Saturday morning. Because who doesn't like Saturday morning cartoons? And this will free up our Wednesday slot for our new miniseries, The Conspiracy Theory of Everything. The first official episode will debut very soon, but in the meantime, here's a short and very interesting conspiracy to get you started. And with that, cue pitch drop.
So there's a conspiracy theory that's been making rounds on social media lately. Are the Trump family time travelers?
No, time travel doesn't exist. At least not the sci-fi jumping into the future the way they do. There is a thing that's time dilation if you're moving very fast. So sort of Star Trek 4 style slingshot around the sun time travel. Well, no, because they go back in time. You can dilate time in such a way that you age slower than a different time frame reference, theoretically. Which happens, actually, with satellites that circle the Earth. They have to be adjusted for. It's in, like, the difference is, like, microseconds. But in theory, you could go forward. To our knowledge, there's no way to go backward, though.
It all began when someone was on the Library of Congress archive website and came across a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey that was published in 1893 by a man.
There's a book that has a name that someone else was named 100 years later? No one has the same name as a fictional character. That's crazy.
And called Lockwood Ingersoll, if that is his real name. Actually, he published 3 books in his...
This counts for fiction cited as fact on the bingo card.
Trump science fiction series. Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and his wonderful dog Bulger, The Underground Journey, and The Last President. The Underground Journey is about a little boy called Baron Trump.
Muddy says, okay, just got here and basically everything on my screen is already fucking wild, except you, Hannah. You look great today. Thank you.
Well, actually, his name is Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, but he goes by...
So, he's not Baron Trump, he's a baron. He's a baron? His name isn't Baron, his title is Baron. He's a baron, which is completely different than your name being Baron. What the fuck? I hate. Mike Max says every conspiracy theorist.
I think not.
by Baron, who finds...
How old is this conspiracy? This has been going around. This is a QAnon thing. Even for QAnon people, this is like Like, if you're within the QAnon conspiracy theory, the people that are, like, conspiracy theorists within the conspiracy theory, they believe this, the whole Trump time travel thing. QAnon started in around 2017, so between 2017 and now, this kind of thing has proliferated.
It's a secret underground portal and time travels to different time periods. Now, the immediate and glaring thing here is that Barron is the name of President Trump's youngest son.
But it's not a title. It's his name. In the book, the guy is a baron. He's a baron. He's not Baron Trump. Left Flank Vets, thank you for raiding. Everyone go check out Left Flank Vets, a wonderful channel here on Twitch. They're incredibly based. Thank you very much. Welcome, Raiders. I'm Hannah. This is Tinfoil Tuesday. On Tinfoil Tuesday, we look at conspiracy theories, some of them political, some of them not, and debunk them when we can, make fun of them all the time. It's just a good time. So come hang out, watch some silly shit. This video is saying, Donald Trump is a time traveler. He needs a golf cart to travel around a golf course, but apparently he's just all traveling through time. You know how it is. I missed Daddy Sume's bits. Sorry, where were they? Daddy Sume said, I'm here. I'm stressed, and I need a fucking hug. Well, I'm sorry. Someone hug Daddy Sume. Ice Queen says, there was a person who had the same first and last name as my drag name as far back as 134 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and seriously, how pretentious was it for them to name the youngest that name?
If you look at drawings of the character in the Underground Journey,
okay, this is a little mean to Baron Trump, honestly, if you're saying that dude looks like Baron. I missed your bits too? Wow, I missed a lot. I'm sorry. Pyromancer says, and wasn't Trump's ancestor's last name Drumpf? It was some other thing. I think it got anglicized when they immigrated. I'm not entirely positive. Increasingly Phil, thanks for following. Gray Matter, thanks for following. Mandy Rebel, thanks for following. Hephaestus Fan, thanks for following.
And compare them to pictures of real-life Baron Trump,
Yeah, Baron Trump now. Baron Trump. I try not to bring kids into this. He's a little older now. Don't get me wrong. Trump's adult children who are active in politics, fuck them. They're adults who make their own choices. But I try not to talk about Baron Trump just because why would I do that, you know? Baron Trump is like a teenager, young adult now. It's actually creepy. When I saw this picture for the first time, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, that kid went through a growth spurt. He's a young adult now, or a teenager, or whatever. He doesn't look like that. And he didn't look like this at the time either. The book character looks fat. Baron Trump has never been fat.
resemblance is uncanny, but we haven't even gone.
No, it's not! In what? In that they both look like young boy children?
Started yet. In the book, little Baron
He'll turn out perfectly normal. I know, Baron Trump, statistically based on Trump's other kids, is probably going to grow up to be a big dirtbag. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying wait until he becomes an adult dirtbag to call him out on it.
Trump has a mentor and father figure, a man called Don. The events of this book take place in Russia, and besides Donald Trump's famous friendship with Putin,
That's a way to put it.
Melania Trump, President Trump's wife,
He's 15 and 6'7"? Is he really? Wow. That's gotta come from Melania, right? That's nuts.
and mother of modern-day Baron Trump, was born in Novo Mesto, Slovenia, before she moved to the US.
Slovenia isn't Russia! Russia's over here! There are multiple countries between Slovenia and Russia! What? Why did they say his mother was Russian in the book? I understand it's a former Soviet nation, but like, it's not now. You wouldn't describe her as Russian. Mike Mack says this guy, they're the same picture. Yeah, I would assume Don is a title too.
So 4 years later, Ingersoll
Former Yugoslav? Even better.
published the sequel, The Last President. An obvious coincidental name aside, this is where things get really weird.
Is it?
The main plot of this book is about a very wealthy man who lives on Fifth Avenue in New York who decides to run for president, and naturally no one expects him to win. As you might expect, located at 725 Fifth Avenue in New York today is none other than Trump Tower. In the book, shortly after the mysterious wealthy man wins an election that no one expected him to win,
Now I gotta double check the synopsis, because whenever conspiracy theorists say a book is like another book and they synopsize it, it's always fucking wrong. Let me look. Reminds me of, it reminds me of, The Voyage of the Titan. It was a book that was written like 16 years prior to the sinking of the Titanic. 14 or 16, I'm not remembering. The Wreck of the Titan, is that what it is? There we go, sorry. The Wreck of the Titan, which was a book, a fiction novel, that basically recounted the events of the Titanic. But it was written before the Titanic sank. Interesting. This kind of thing happens. They're called coincidences. But let's take a look. This doesn't have a thing. The Last President. Synopsis. The entire east side of New York City is in a state of uproar. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. The Last President, 1869, based. Andrew Rotella says, coincidentally, or as nutjobs like to call them, predictive programming. Yeah, you can put predictive programming, actually, on the bingo card. 1900, or The Last President, by Ingersoll Lockwood, is a surrealistic 1896 novel, where Americans are protesting a corrupt election process while the president's hometown of New York City is fearing the collapse of the republic after the transition of presidential power. If this reminds you of the attitudes after 2016 Trump presidential win, you're not alone. During 2017, this book, as well as Lockwood's two children books, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog, Bulger, and Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, drew attention due to its uncanny connections to the Trump and his family. Well, now I feel like I gotta read the book at some point. Shit. Just because I'm curious, because I want to see how many coincidences there are. Misattribution of coincidence? Yes. Rublum says, not related but interesting, did you know that there's a bank in Italy that will accept artisan Parmesan cheese wheels as collateral? In 2017, they had over 300,000 wheels, worth about 140 million US dollars. I did know that, actually, yes. Which makes sense. It's a commodity.
he's inaugurated and starts selecting his cabinet. One of the first people he chooses is another mysterious gentleman who goes by the name Mr. Pence. Granted, in the book, he's given the post of Secretary of Agriculture.
This is why it's a coincidence. Because if it were predictive, it would line up perfectly and not like, It's like when you get a puzzle piece that almost fits, but one of the sides is wrong. It's like these people would like take a hammer or scissors and try and cut it to the right place. You can't say it's like a predictive time travel thing when details are wrong. It's a coincidence. It's an interesting coincidence, sort of like the conspiracy theorists will bring up, for instance, fiction is fact. Yes, fiction is fact. Like, conspiracy theorists will bring up the coincidences between JFK and Lincoln similarities. Not 9gag. Why did it come up as 9gag? Ugh. Tiger White says, I mean, the book probably taking inspiration from the contentious election of 1876. Daddy Sume says, do you really think Hannah wouldn't know an interesting fact about cheese? You're really going to need to read the book after this video. At some point I might. I don't know. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh. So there are these... I just got to find an infographic. So some of these are true, some of these are not true. Or some have been expounded upon. But conspiracy theorists will bring stuff like this up. Lincoln, Kennedy, coincidence? Two presidents who, of course, were assassinated. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were concerned with civil rights. I guess that's true, but a lot of presidents have been. Lincoln was elected president in 1860, Kennedy in 1960. Both were slain on a Friday and in the presence of their wives. I guess that's not weird that a president would be near their wife during a public thing. Both were shot from behind and in the head. That is how you would make sure you kill someone if you're trying to assassinate them. Their successors, both named Johnson, were Southern Democrats, and both were in the Senate. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808, and Lyndon Johnson was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth was born in 1839, and Lee Harvey Oswald was born in 1939. You get it. There are coincidences that line up because human beings are pattern-seeking animals. So what we do best is search for patterns in things, right? It's how we've survived as a species, or at least one of the ways. But unfortunately, that misfires, and we look for coincidences everywhere. We look for patterns everywhere, even where they don't exist. And this is a case of that, as is the Lincoln-Kennedy thing. This is basically why conspiracy theories exist in the first place. Hydrate. Princess Amelia says, 2 presidents elected 100 years apart in a nation holds presidential elections every 4 years on the dot. Amazing. Yes, misattribution of coincidence on the bingo card.
Rather than vice president, but still, what's really going on here?
Coincidence.
After his inauguration, since no one expected him to win, the city of New York and the wider US in general erupts into violence, with people rioting and damaging property left, right, and center. So naturally, the new president signed some new executive orders to better control the people. Now, the next part of this theory
he's talking about the
gets
book.
even more...
Gotcha. Chrysia says, based on an excerpt I found, the book is more about a Marxist revolution following the election of a man of immense privilege less than the actual president. That makes sense.
crazy. Today, everyone knows about the forgotten physicist Nikola Tesla. In 1943,
Everyone knows about the forgotten physicist. You might want to do an editing pass.
he died bankrupt, in love with a pigeon, don't ask, and all alone in room 3327 of the Hotel New Yorker at the age of 86 from a blood clot. Now, while this theory usually says something along the lines of Tesla having designs for a time machine, this isn't strictly true. In fact, he was generally pretty critical of Einstein's theory of relativity, which is one of the main theories that time travel is generally based off of, as he didn't believe...
Did he say Tesla fell in love with a pigeon? Yeah, I gotta take this one thing at a time. I don't know anything about the pigeon thing.
Space could be curved. The thing is, he actually claimed to have developed his own theory regarding matter and energy that he started working on in 1892. And in 1937, at age 81, he claimed in a letter to have completed a dynamic theory of gravity that would put an end to idle speculations and false conceptions about curved space. However, this theory was never found in any more of his writings, seemingly disappearing from any record.
If he fell in love with a pigeon, I don't know if I would trust his claims. Like, hey, alternating current, nailed it. But smart people say dumb things all the time. Newton, the father of modern science, spent his time doing alchemy and biblical numerology. People can be brilliant and also be wrong about other things. And Colston says, the pigeon thing is actually true. He had a questionable relationship with a pigeon. Yeah. Nice. That XY girl says, the pigeon thing is a common story. His diary is said to quote, I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me. As long as I had her, there was a purpose in my life. Maybe he just really loved his pet. That doesn't mean he was fucking the pigeon. mean, obviously he wasn't fucking the pigeon. That would kill the pigeon. But you don't gotta make it a weird thing just because he loved his pet. Princess Amelia says Nikolai Tesla was actually known to exaggerate a lot in later years to get publicity when he needed more money. Sounds a little like Elon. Andrew Patella says, in order to allow for time travel, you need curved time. It makes no sense to claim that Tesla would be against Einstein's curved space-time and that he'd invent time travel. Tucker White says maybe Tesla was a furry. Furries and people who want to fuck animals are two different things, just for the record. I know I have furries in my audience, and I don't want to offend them. I'm aware that furries are not into bestiality.
After he died, the US government took possession of all of his inventions, theories, and files in the interest of seeing what he knew. The department that took everything was known as the Office of Alien Property. Alien as in foreign, not as in Grays. And after they took a look at everything, they handed everything left over to the
Nikolai Tesla equals Bert? I don't know what you mean. Daddy Sume with a link says, do not show this on stream, but I found the pigeon. Well, now I gotta look. Hold on. Okay, I gotta delete that, though. Seriously, Daddy Sume. Don't post porn, even if it's like that, in the stream. I gotta purge that. Hold on. I didn't mean to time you out. Hold on. I'm trying to untime you. Yeah, it won't let me for some reason. Thank you. It won't let me do it. I was just trying to do a 1-second timeout to purge the comment. Logarth says, Bert, of Bert and Ernie fame, known for doing the pigeon. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I know. You can't post porn in the chat, guys, even if it's for a joke. Like, that's TOS. You're gonna get me banned. Which is why I have to act on it if it happens. Andrew Batella says, you're trying to untime Daddy Sume? Are you sure you're not a time traveler?
FBI. Long story short, the FBI hired an outside engineer from MIT to make sense of everything Tesla had, especially his inventions. And the man that they hired, drumroll please, was none other than John G. Trump, the late uncle of President Trump. After studying everything, John Trump determined that there was nothing dangerous
Speculation.
in Tesla's inventions that
Noetic Fox says, so he was overtaken by a lich named Joseph, getting his DeLorean from his furry buddy, Tesla?
could hurt the US government. So this conspiracy theory goes, perhaps John Trump lied to
MB Gamer Juniper says, Time Lord Hannah, the D&D was just a red herring. Secretly, she's a real one. No offense, but if I was a real time traveler, you'd think I'd waste my time in this time?
to the government to keep Tesla's theories to himself. And
The only way I'd be a time traveler in this time period is if my time travel machine broke down in this time period, and now I'm stuck having to do Twitch streams in order to make enough money to repair my time machine that isn't in my backyard right now.
and out of the hands of the government, perhaps even to help his own family, who then not only time traveled through time to set up their vast empire of wealth, but also cement their power in society.
Bumble Homestead says, OMG, that's what the PS5 is. Daddy Sume says, sorry, Hannah, we have done this before. I didn't realize it would get you in trouble for posting in chat. Like when I was posting my first Sony, you never told me not to. I know I didn't. That's my bad. I was thinking about it, and I think I could actually get in trouble for that. Like, it's my job to moderate the chat. So, I'm sorry. That's not on you. That's on me for not saying that earlier. That XY girl says, bits for Hannah's Time Machine Repair Fund. Thank you. Don't I have Time AAA? I thought it was a waste of money. You know? Dude from Moria says, bits for your time machine. Thank you.
Now, there's one more thing to this theory, but we're not sure where it fits in. See, President Trump's mother's name is Mary, and his father's middle name is Christ.
Trump's grandfather named his dad Frederick Christ Trump? That family is fucked up. My God. Who names their kid Christ? Oh my God. That's a good way to start your kid off with ego issues. Mike Mack says Donald Trump is his own grandfather. It explains so much. That's why he doesn't have the Delta brainwave. Or whatever the Futurama thing was.
So, yeah, that's kind of weird. But what's more, his birthday of June 14th, 1946 was marked by a total lunar eclipse. So some intense energies were...
How often do lunar eclipses occur? 2 to 5 times a year, 5 being exceptional. The last time there were 5 was in 1935, and there won't be 5 again until 2206. Some years there are none, but they happen. So again, you're taking a coincidence, and you're making it something it isn't. Did every baby that was born that day grow up to to have a child that time travels?
definitely going on back then regardless. Further, a lot of the early...
Raven says, we're getting in on Hannah's time machine early. Hannah coin is going to the moon, boys. His mother is named Elizabeth Christ Trump. Oh, was it the mother? That's weird. Why Christ is a middle name? Why do?
Early parts of these books, especially the first one,
if I had a time machine, what would I do with it? Go to the future. To see what the future's like. I've always been fascinated with science fiction, so I want to see basically the all future history of humanity. Whether it only lasts another 100 years, or 200, or 1,000, or if we somehow survive a really long time. I'd love to find out. That's what bugs me. Dying doesn't bug me. I understand that everyone's life is finite. Not knowing how the story of humanity is going to continue or end, that bugs me. Daddy Sume says, what if the moon is gone? That'd probably be bad. That'd probably be bad. That happened in The Time Machine, I think. In H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. It happened in the movie, at least.
Count Baron Trump's adventures into the Hollow Earth, meeting with secret civilizations and dealing with the natives there. I'm not saying that this means Trump is either the next Jesus or the Antichrist, but as far as conspiracies go, there are ideas about both of these
that was
on
the
either
reference,
side
yes.
of the equation. Now, I know how all this sounds. It's a pretty wild theory that the Trump family wrote these books or somehow influenced Ingersoll. Or maybe Ingersoll wrote his books as an expose to warn us.
Or it's a book that was written 100 years ago that happens to share names and some events vaguely with current events. Probably that one. Mike Max says, this explains so much. Donald Trump's parents, any questions? Oh my god. Raven says, Master Mode Zelda Breath of the Wild is frustrating me. Have bits. I missed your bits. Sorry. I'm getting a lot today. Blackwing Hecate says, I mean, I have a kid in my psychology class named Messiah Allah. Ugh, that's weird.
Whether it's true or not, it certainly is one hell of a coincidence. If you want to see a funny slant on it, Jamie Fuller wrote in Portico that the character of Baron Trump is often precocious, restless, and prone to get in trouble, often mentions his massive brain, and has a personalized insult for most of the people that he meets, which sounds awfully familiar to someone who shall not be named. And apparently, Leigh Scott is currently working on a movie adaptation of the books that we might see in the coming years, so keep an eye out for that.
So, what do you think? Could Trump be a time traveler? I
No.
mean, what a crazy idea. Yet, maybe sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.
Where does JFK Jr. fit in all this time travel shit? That's a good question. So according to QAnon people who believe this particular set of things, because the QAnon people do have sort of different beliefs depending on, you know, how conspiratorial they are. They believe that Donald Trump is working with a team, including JFK Jr., who he teamed up with in the 90s to start building this plan to take down the, quote, deep state cabal, right? None of this is true, obviously, but this is the conspiracy theory. According to them, Hillary Clinton was planning a New York Senate run in the same district that JFK Jr. was planning on running, and therefore she had JFK Jr. killed. JFK Jr. did actually die in, I believe, a plane crash in the late 90s. And the conspiracy theory goes, again, that she had him killed. She didn't. He just died in a plane crash. And that secretly he pretended to get on the plane, but really he's been in hiding for years. Or, if you're more conspiratorial, he directly used the time machine to jump forward in time to today, and he's alive. Or he's going to appear sometime soon, because he's jumped somewhere in the future that we are unfamiliar with. Yeah, it's stupid.
Strangest of all might even be the connection to Back to the Future 2, in which Biff uses a time machine and...
They based Biff off Trump, because Trump was the 80s... Let's just look up 80s villains based on Donald Trump. Like, is this a revelation to people that Donald Trump was literally the inspiration for tons of 80s villains? Like, he was the archetype of evil businessman in the 80s. Like, I can't speak to some of these because I haven't seen them. I can't really agree with the Syndrome one. Gordon Gekko, maybe. He's a Wall Street guy, though, not a investment real estate guy. Can't speak to that. King Koopa, I would say, is from Super Mario Brothers. Clamp is from Gremlins 2. Biff is from Back to the Future 2. Max Schreck from Batman Returns probably is. Like, this is not unknown. Guys, people based characters off of Donald Trump because he's a fucking scumbag and has been for a really long time. I don't understand.
basically becomes Donald Trump. And we should probably say too, that interpreting this theory should probably not be so rigid and literal. Perhaps the nature of time travel isn't physically traveling, but a
Oh lord. Struggling for Wi-Fi says, does the plane have a cruising altitude of 88 miles per hour? Started writing this before they brought up Back to the Future. Nick with a link. Back to the Future writer Biff Tannen is based on Donald Trump. Oh yeah, we knew that. You didn't need to have him say that for us to know that. The guys from Red Letter Media had a really great pitch for Gremlins 3, because in Gremlins 2, the Clamp Tower is owned by Daniel Clamp, who is Donald Trump. And he's a shitty businessman. And Gremlins 2, they go into the office building, and it's like a futuristic office building, and they fuck it up. You know, you've seen the Gremlins movies. If you haven't, go watch the Gremlins movies. So they said, for Gremlins 3, have Daniel Clamp be the president. He's been elected president, and it's Gremlins in the White House and Gremlins in Washington, D.C. I think that's a funny idea. I don't know. Raven says, King Koopa is a carbon copy of Donald Trump. The people who made it even said so. Mike Mack says, so Trump has the power to time travel to the past, but doesn't do anything about all the atrocities humans have done in history? Hell, he didn't think of stopping the creation of the Illuminati or the Cabal? Morak says, the Super Mario Brothers movie is one of my favorite films of all time. It's so bafflingly bad. I adore it. I like it just because we get Mario's name, canonically, and Luigi's.
Extending of one's consciousness or ideas and information through time to the past and future. There's a lot of ways that this could go. And even if it is all just one big coincidence and nothing more, you gotta admit, it's really fun to entertain.
The
Seriously,
Gremlins elect
they
McConnell
could make a movie
as their
about
president.
it. Oh, wait. I guess they already did. 30 years ago. Now at Spirit Science, we, like many of you, have been following along with the myriad of conspiracy theories and everything going on right now. And what we find perhaps the most exciting is how
Daddy Sume says I would watch that, but I would see the Secret Service just gunning down on the gremlins. Honestly, the Secret Service, when you know, supervised, are kind of terrifying. Well, it's a movie, though. You have them do silly gremlins thing to the Secret Service.
there is an intersection of these topics and our spiritual awakening. In our upcoming series, The Conspiracy Theory of Everything,
So that's the end of them talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't a time traveler.
Hey everyone.
I shouldn't say that. He's a time traveler in the same way all of us are time travelers, in the sense that we are all moving forward in time 1 second per second. No one has time traveled. At least not in the sci-fi way. What's Cece been up to? Our favorite flat earther. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says Donald Trump had a time... If Donald Trump had time travel abilities and didn't prevent 9/11, he's liable. There's footage of him on the streets of New York City then. Thrajmio says, Trump with a time machine not helping stop atrocities actually checks out. I would expect all his enemies to have been shit-talked from birth. Mike says, is Luigi his brother or son in the movie? I think his brother? They're the Mario brothers. But they're Mario, and Luigi Mario. Because they're the Mario brothers. Moppy Mutton says, the 2022, the conspiracy theory of everything will be the GOP platform. Have I seen the time traveler evidence in films? No. Alright, let's check out some of his newer videos.
Oh man, okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Filming in a car on a bingo card.
Wherever you may be, CC here, Chris. From New York, Westchester County. We gotta put that little hand sanitizer on there. I've been using that for years. You know, I mean, especially if you use an ATM machine, I highly recommend you put your fucking hand sanitizers on. You know, look, okay, let me tell you.
You don't believe in COVID, though, so why do you believe in any virus? If it's all fake, what the fuck? Andrew Patella says, I traveled here from the year 1993 to say, what the fuck did I just watch? Go back, and maybe call in a bomb threat in 2001, September 10th, to all airlines. You might help some stuff and make the country not such garbage.
You how to win the lottery. It's a simple deduction, and this isn't a. You know,
he's gonna tell us how to win the lottery. Cha-ching. Muddy says, as a demon, I can say that I have time traveled. I honestly isn't that great. Imagine taking a long ride in an elevator, playing elevator music that's slightly too loud. That's what traveling through time is like. That almost sounds like something. Why can't I think of his name? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Dirk Gently. Wait, no. Is that a different guy? Douglas Adams. That sounds like a Douglas Adams joke. Logarth says, traveling through time at the speed of time. Swigelf method.
Are you two ready? This is it. Here's the new Merc. This is Time Travel's face bag.
I can't play more than that. If you're gonna do a clip, it has to be like 5 to 10 seconds.
You know, mathematician trying to figure it out, or difficult computations with math at all. You just simply try to figure out what numbers will never, ever come up. Okay? And I really like to do these flat earth numbers, because I think the lottery now is up to, I don't even know what the fucking ticket is. I think the lottery is now up to like some extraordinary amount that none of us will ever win, and nobody will ever win except this one guy that's in Texas or something.
Does he think the lottery isn't real because he's never won it? What? Blackwing Hecate says they'd probably just have found another casus belli to get us embroiled in the Middle East.
That's really weird, and or a lawyer down in New York City. It's all staged. It's all bullshit. It's there to make you think you can win. You know, when you have no possibility at all whatsoever to win anything at all.
I mean, virtually, your chance of winning the lottery, especially the national lottery, is like infinitesimal. You probably shouldn't waste the money. It's not worth it, typically. Like, don't get me wrong, I've bought lottery tickets when it's gotten up to, ridiculous levels. I think a lot of us do. But I don't consider it, actually expecting to win. You buy the ticket for like $1, $2, and you buy one. And it's basically a way for your brain to get a day of like, imagine if I won the lottery. And you just have a day where you daydream about if you did it. I don't expect to actually win. It's just a thing to do. It's a thing you participate in. Or don't. I'm not telling you to do that, especially if you have a gambling problem. Don't do that. But if it's a thing you do a couple times a year, just for a fun thing, it's fine. Just don't expect to win, because you won't. Chili Foo says, just finished the VOD of your last stream. I'm upset Neil Breen was brought up, and I wasn't there to talk about the superior Breen himself. Daddy Sume says, is Daddy too horny?
Of course!
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Tiger White says, I'm just wondering how the lottery distracts everyone from the truth about our flat Earth.
If you bet on it.
I've heard other people compare streaming to babysitting, just chatting streaming, and I think that's true. But it's scarier, because it's like babysitting people who are horny on Maine. And that's horrifying. Bonk. Collective bonk.
All of this has been created because of Flat Earth. All of it, they just try to keep the population confused, and that's what it's there for.
The lottery is there.
Money.
The lottery costs $2 to buy a ticket. CC, what? Like, okay, I could spend, I just went to the store earlier today. I bought these black cherry colas, right? I think it was like $6 or something for 4 of them. So, like, people spend money on things all the time that they don't necessarily need. But that's fine if they do it in moderation. Again, there are people with gambling issues, obviously, but most people do not buy lottery tickets constantly. What? Daddy Sume says, horrifying, you misspelled titillating, Hannah. Morok says, it's expressly stated in the film that Luigi is an orphan and that Mario raised him like a father, but the name of the company is called the Mario Brothers Plumbing, so yeah, the film is a mess, and makes a little sense. It had 4 screenwriters, I think.
Take as much money out of your pocket as possible. To make you think you have a choice, you might maybe win something and become this rich person floating around in a boat in the middle of the ocean.
That's where boats are, often.
When in reality, that'll never happen.
Focus on the lottery globes to distract from flat truth.
99% of us. But yet they want you to think it will happen. So anyway, I don't know where the fuck the ticket went.
He bought a ticket! What? Chris, if you think the lottery is part of some grand conspiracy and no one can win, why did you buy a ticket? Why did you buy it? Because, like, I at least think the lottery is a real thing, Like, someone wins. It's not going to be me. But someone wins. And it's fun for that person. Actually, statistically, it's not. The murder and suicide rates of people who win the lottery is astronomically higher than the general population. I don't know if anyone knows that. Anyway. Chris, if you think no one really wins the lottery and it's a fraud, why did you spend money on a ticket? I'm so confused. Red Werewolf says, regular lottery tickets aren't too bad. It's the scratch tickets I've seen people fall into holes on. Yeah, when I was poor, I bought the scratchy ones about once a week, which was too much, and I lost money on them almost every time. And then one day, I won $400 on a scratch-off ticket, and I don't really play them anymore. I was like, this is the most I'm ever going to win on any sort of lottery anything. I should probably quit while I'm probably not ahead. I bought them every week for a while, so I probably lost money overall, even though I won $400. Speedy Yoshi says, I've got a one-way ticket to hell. Andrew Patella says, sour grapes much? Raven says he's gone off into his own conspiracy land, but he's not wrong about how the lottery being basically a tax on poor people. Calling your chances of winning the lottery improbable isn't doing it justice. It's impossible. Yes. Noetic Fox says, my teacher's wife won the lotto and she divorced him, married another guy, then went absolutely bankrupt. He settled for around $500,000 just to be rid of her and buy his own ranch. Smart man. Oh, good for him.
Well, I'm driving right now. I can't be distracted. There's a red light.
The most you ever heard of someone winning was $200. I was buying like the $20 scratch-off tickets. One a week or something like that. Like I would get paid, and this is when I was still working, I think, like an actual like day job. And like once a week I'd buy like a $20 lottery ticket with the scratch-off ones, which is stupid. Don't do that. But once I won $400. Logarth says, I worked at a few gas stations during the college to pay bills. The people that would come in and spend hundreds on lotto tickets go outside, scratch them off, cash in the winners, buy more, scratch off, bought more till they were broke. It was the saddest thing I've ever I've ever played because of that. Yeah, that's really sad. E-Tune says, my uncle who died always gave us scratch-offs for Christmas. Yeah, people in my family do that too. I think that's fine for a little like Christmas gift. That's fine. Speedy Yoshi says, what if we make our own lottery with blackjack and hookers? So a casino.
Like this coming up here. And I'll tell you, it's very, very easy to figure out the lottery. And you know what? You'll win every time if you pick these numbers. I call them the...
Are you a millionaire yet, CC?
Flat Earth numbers. Okay. The Flat Earth numbers are... Are you with me? Are you standing by? Or put the brake on here. Oh, this is the automatic braking system, which I fucking hate. Fucking car just... Okay. There we go. All right. Or... Now, be careful with these numbers. Because if you play it, I believe the lottery is up to $335 million here. And this is Powerball. Now, you gotta play these numbers. You see, these numbers will never...
That's a little funny.
Ever.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the same code I have for my luggage. Speedy Yoshi says, honestly, if CC was crazy, I'd listen to a podcast with him. He has a cool voice and kind of a handsome dilf. If he wasn't crazy, I assume you mean.
In a million fucking dreams come out. Is that right? Can you see that? Yeah. Never. They'll never come out. They can't. But they should. At some point, it's gotta have these numbers on it. But it never, ever will come out.
Chris, we could do the lottery for, like, every week for 1,000 years, and we still wouldn't go through all the numbers. Like, the combination of numbers, each number, are double zeros on the lottery, or is it just 1 through 99 for each number? I'm going to assume 1 through 99. I don't think you can pick 0. I could be wrong, though. 1 through 64? Oh, okay. Even better. 1 through now someone's saying 1 through 72. Whatever it is. Let's say 1 through 72. So each number, each different number that's on there has a 1 in 72 chance of coming up, and that compounds. So it's 1 in 72 times 1 in 72 times 1 in 72 times 1 in 72 times 1 in 72. And that's the likelihood of any specific number combination coming up. It's why the lottery is, like, impossible to win. It's like 1 in hundreds of millions. It's 73 to the 6th power. Yeah. Nick says, there's tens of billions of possibilities. There are almost that many that will never ever be selected. CC, so learn math. Sky Comet Fallen says, I heard somewhere you're more likely to be hit by lightning 2 times than win the lottery. Yeah.
And that's why...
Again, this is why if I buy a lottery ticket, which happens very rarely, I usually only do it if it gets over, like, $700 million, which has only happened a couple times. I really don't know. And I used to do it more... The thing is, I used to do it more when I was poor and when I was working, like, a job at, like, a fast food restaurant. Because it's hopeless. You feel hopeless. I'll get your bits in a sec, I'm sorry. And it's nice to buy a ticket just to, for a day, feel like maybe I can escape this bullshit. Not so much now. I'm doing okay. But yeah, you're not gonna win the lottery. Moppy Mutton says, hit by lightning, 1 in 12,000. Win the lottery, 1 in 258.9 million. So when you buy a ticket, you're hoping to get struck by lightning hundreds of times over. Is it only 1 in 12,000 to get struck by lightning? Well, now I'm scared of getting struck by lightning. What the fuck? That's too common. What? Does this count as numerology? I don't think so. He's being facetious. Ice Queen says, okay, I need a wonder. Hope the rest of the stream goes well. Have a great whatever it is for you whenever you see this. Live long and prosper. Peace and long life. Thanks.
Why? This is all bullshit. Everything is all bullshit.
Why did you buy a ticket then?
Shit. It's nonsense. Every fucking politician, every fucking goddamn baseball player, everybody out there, all the actresses, all the actors, all of it is nonsense.
If your conspiracy involves hundreds of thousands of people or even tens of thousands, it's not true. It's not true. You can't have that many people keep a secret.
And every level possible. If you ever figured out that the Earth is flat, we're covered with a dome, and space doesn't exist, what would you do? You would create a space agency.
Why? I still don't understand why they think... What's the advantage of lying about the shape of the Earth?
Okay. To make people think that it actually does exist.
You did the math. Powerball has been pulled less than 5,000 times, and there are over 100 billion possibilities. Yeah, we're never going to get through all the numbers. And numbers have come up, I think, twice before, just by happenstance. So, like, you know, we're never going to go through them all.
It's a perfect military strategy.
If the lottery came up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, honestly, I bet tens of thousands of people would win. Just because people doing silly ones. I don't know why you'd do that. If I get a lottery ticket, not that it matters, all combination of numbers have the exact same probability of coming up, so it doesn't really matter. But I always choose to just let the machine decide. I don't know.
You know, I mean, you would create something and then keep going on it. And then you wouldn't allow anybody else to get out in space. I think somebody just got fined or some nonsense like that. You see, this has all been created because of flat Earth. People are figuring this out. This person probably doesn't know what it is. He's driving around in a Porsche, so obviously he doesn't know fucking shit.
People in Porsches don't know fucking shit? That's pretty general. Nobody except Fox says, CC, then why have you not made a space agency? Nick says, FDS, FDS. Flat Earth, yes, on bingo.
You're going to say, oh, because he's driving around with an expensive car. No, you don't understand. Okay, for flat earthers, material world is nonsense. It's garbage. We don't give a shit about the clothes we wear. Okay? Unless if we're going out to a party to appease other people, we'll get a nice suit or something like that. But we don't give a shit about what these people care about, which is nonsense. And it's something we always cared about before you got into flat Earth. And that's why I feel sorry for these people, and that's why I want to wake them all up and just say, this is all bullshit. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.
Jesus Christ, CC, what are you doing? So that's video number 1. He's 3. Princess Amelia says, I think a while back here in Britain it was revealed how many people use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as the regular lottery numbers. It was at least a few hundred. Nick says, people in Porsches know how to acquire Porsches. Speedy Yoshi says, he just really needs to be special. Yeah, it's sad. This is random. So there's an achievement based on how many I don't know if you guys know this. Twitch creators, there are achievements for like based on viewership and stuff, and I've gotten through a great portion of them. But there's one achievement I haven't gotten yet, and it annoys me, and it's concurrent chatters. And I'm up to you need to get 200 concurrent chatters, and I've only ever gotten 180. So if any we have almost 400 people here. If like half of you, a little over half, just said something in chat, I could get that achievement and it would stop bothering me. Just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. There we go. Thank you. I don't know if this will work, but yeah. Look at that. That's a fast-moving chat right there. That's like a Hassan chat. Wow. Gotta go fast. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog took over. Oh yeah. Alright, thank you everyone. On to the next CC video. You guys can probably stop whatever. It's probably fine. DM Trey says, chat go zoom! Storm Bell says, here's some bits, thank you. This video was entitled, How Did This Conversation Turn to Peppa Pig on Our Flat Earth? Did it work? I'm not sure, I'll have to check later.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County.
Does it have to go for a certain length of time? I don't know. I'll check later.
There is so much uncertainty in the world today. And
the Pantangler, thanks for following.
Whether it being a pandemic or anything that's really out there, that...
For the record, the rest of the achievements are just like view time, so those will just happen over time. That's just the one that was bothering me.
I just want to let you know, and everybody know, that, you know, I'm here to consult with you.
Baja, something got delivered. I don't know if you already grabbed it, but can you? Oh, thank you.
I realize that this is a really trying time for everybody. And I see the pain that everybody's going through.
You heard plandemic? That's true. He did say that. Plandemic on the bingo card. Hydrate.
You know, that for people who don't really know what is really going on.
I'm checking to see if I unlocked the achievement.
Pain. You know, I see it in their eyes. I mean, they think all of this is real. You know, when it's all bullshit! Bullshit!
Is he okay? Doesn't sound like he's okay. We did it! Woo! Oh wait, no we didn't. Never mind. A little thing went off and I thought it was that, but it didn't register yet. Wham wham. Maybe it will later after the stream ends, I don't know. Or I'll just have to wait for it to happen naturally.
Okay. Sorry. Fucking nonsense. Now where are we now? What? We have another third pandemic? Don't you see what they're doing? Don't you see what they're doing there?
Chris, my God, there's a pandemic on. It's not a plandemic. It's a pandemic. It's been going on since 2020. Honestly, late 2019 for some areas of the world. We're still trying to get it under control, and it doesn't help that people like you are refusing to get the vaccine. You're clogging up hospitals, okay, CC? Please get vaccinated. I don't want you to die. Where will I get my flat earth content now that Nathan Thompson has given up?
Creating another epidemic after what we just went through for a year and a half. They're preparing for another one.
It's the same one. We're in the same one, Chris. It's not a new one. There's a surge in cases, and there have been spikes. But it's all the same thing.
Why can't it just be an alien invasion? I just want...
Yeah, Nathan Thompson gave up. Colston says, wait, Nathan Thompson gave up? Hell is frozen over. Yeah, there's a reason we haven't covered him in a while. Did I not mention this on stream? I guess I probably should have at some point. Nathan Thompson has stopped selling his flyers and has given up the flat earth stuff. I'm not saying he doesn't believe in flat earth. To my understanding, he still does believe in flat earth, but he stopped doing YouTube stuff about it. He stopped selling his pamphlets. It's good shit.
Wanted that alien invasion so bad. I was hoping for it. I was wishing for it. Where are the UFOs? Fuck! Come on, you know they have the technology out there to do it.
No, they don't!
You know, it's funny. I was looking up some shit on the internet, and you know, I found out that our country actually pretty much now at this point can project anything that they want in the sky. You know.
Oh no.
Oh, and that's what I was hoping for, but
holographic sky on the bingo card. I think that's a space.
Why didn't they go for it? Why didn't they didn't think people would buy it?
It didn't happen because that's not a real thing, Chris. 74 Quinn 74 says, when I first heard the word pandemic, I got excited because I thought it meant preparing and planning safe and stuff, and wow, was I disappointed. Yeah. Nick says, does he think that aliens won't probe and prod him for insisting the Earth is flat? Also, I thought space was fake, Chris. No, he's saying aliens, as in fake. He doesn't believe in aliens. He thinks, he's talked about this before, that he believes the government is going to fake an alien invasion in order to take power. Yeah.
But they would buy something that was written in a movie.
It's like a conspiracy Russian nesting doll. It's just conspiracies within conspiracies.
Back in 1983. That they thought people wouldn't buy.
I haven't put Nathan in the channel graveyard yet. I need to.
And they have. They've done it. They've got people off their rockers. Do you realize 1 year ago today, I was sitting in this parking lot and it was vacant. There was nobody out. What's everybody doing now? Aren't they still paranoid?
They're probably vaccinated, Chris. Like, if you're vaccinated, like myself, like, don't get me wrong, you should still take precautions, wear masks where you can, don't sneeze on people, keep washing your hands regularly, more regular than you probably would have prior to the pandemic, but like, yeah, if you're vaccinated, you can kind of start, I don't want to say going back to normal, because I don't want to encourage, like, reckless behavior, but, like, yeah, people are more comfortable going to the store and stuff now, regularly, because they're vaccinated. Nick says, Republican fake alien invasion all the time, if we're using a not-so-politically correct definition of a word. Tucker White says, the government that already rules everything is going to fake an alien invasion to take over everything it already controls. I think Chris missed a step.
I mean, they were all locked up a year ago. But they were all out and about, like nothing ever happened.
Does Chris not understand that the majority of Americans at this point have been fully vaccinated? And an even larger percentage have at least had their first vaccination?
But yet new rules, new mandates have now been declared through a president who...
I wonder if... I know Chris drives the van for... It's like a wheelchair-accessible van, and he drives people in wheelchairs around. I don't know if he works for a company, but it would be hilarious if he did, and now he has to get vaccinated because of the mandates that are going to be coming out. Beautiful.
A person who isn't fit to run anything. But yet he's a good guy. You can tell. You know, he knows what he's talking about, obviously. I mean, you know, he was going to declare that we're all going to electric cars in 2020. I'm sorry, what is it? What's the year today? It's 2021. Okay, I'm sorry. He called somebody by the name of Dr. Pepper.
Wait, who's he talking about?
This is your president in office.
Oh, he's talking about Biden. I don't think he said 2020. I think the idea is to start working on converting all new vehicles in the 2020s. So, like, by 2030, a majority of the cars coming out new from plants should be electric or hydrogen fuel cell cars.
Running the show.
Like, I know Ford, I'm just talking about American manufacturers here. Ford is planning on moving towards all-electric vehicles during this decade. GM is doing the same. The Ford line of trucks, like the Ford F-150 and stuff, are moving to fully electric. And those, I think, are the most popular vehicles, the most popular new vehicles in America, because trucks are very popular, especially for people who use them for work. So yeah, during the 2020s, I think we're going to see a huge adoption of electric vehicles, which is good. I think that's a good thing.
One other puppet. See, they're all fucking puppets. Don't you understand that? They mean nothing. This is a perfect example for you to see that all politicians, everybody who's out there is nothing but a fucking puppet. All actors and actresses, all football players, all baseball players, all of them are nothing but there to distract you. Don't you understand that? You live on a flat earth. A flat land. Why would
No, you don't, Chris.
they ever let anything like this ever get out once they figured it out?
Why? Why wouldn't they? Why would it matter? Why? I still don't understand, Chris. Why would that matter? The shape of the Earth is irrelevant to day-to-day life. Don't get me wrong. The fact that it is the truth is important to know, because as much as, you know, it's good to know as much as you can about the world, generally. So if you learn the shape of the Earth, that's good, and it helps with, like, developing rockets that we can use to put things into space, like satellites that we use for GPS systems or satellite TV or other technologies that rely upon satellites. Like, that's great. But your average everyday person, it's irrelevant. It just doesn't matter if the Earth is flat or round. It just happens to be round. What is the point? Welcome back, Daddy Sume. Bumble Homestead says, why would the Earth being flat mean people don't want to play sports, right? I don't understand. I don't get it.
They can't ever let this out. Because they want us running around like fucking trained rats, shopping, going for our pets, and doing whatever we need to get done just to make it to the next day. See, we're living from day to day. They're living from decade to decade.
Wagrod says, hydrogen fuel cells are infeasible. Hydrogen leaks through solid matter, making it very difficult to contain efficiently. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Tucker White says, so wait, the Baltimore Orioles being an embarrassment to the game of baseball is a distraction from flat Earth? Unconditional Prong says, and the Trumpers are complaining about gas prices if they're the only thing they have. It's funny, too, because electric vehicles are really cheap to refuel. Baja, how much does it cost, do you think, to, like, refuel your car? But I mean, like, if you plugged it into the house, how much would a full... I thought you said like $2 one time.
Yeah, from 0
From 0 to full, it costs roughly $2 to fuel Baja's electric car. $2 for a full tank, air quotes, to refuel the whole car. $2. Mike says, why are you still working if you think it's a trap, right? Stone Corbell says, why would you still be shopping and doing jobs if it turned out tomorrow the earth was flat? You're talking about capitalism, CC. Your problem is capitalism. How far will it go on a charge? I think the max is like 160, something like that. 180. It depends on the time of the year, too. If you're regularly taking very long trips, you're going to need something. What is it? 300, I'm sorry. 300 miles is the range. I apologize. Where are we on the bingo card? You just got to ask me. I don't have a master sheet anymore because we added a bunch of stuff to the bingo card. Hydrate.
Things are going to change shortly. People are waking up.
I'll count that as a Baja Blast. She corrected me. Rightfully so. I'll count it.
And they've had it. Although, I don't know, these people in Westchester County, I've given up on them.
Logarth says, my hybrid has a 10-gallon tank that costs between 20 to 30 to fill, and it has a range about 650 to 700 miles.
They're just so fucking lost. It's just not even any reason to argue with them anymore, or even talk to them about face masks or anything like that, because all they do is they come out and they say that one word, conspiracy.
Yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist. They say conspiracy because you're promoting conspiracy theories because you're a conspiracy theorist. That word comes up a lot. It would be like if someone was like, let's say they were featured on To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen, and they're like, why does everyone keep calling me a pedophile? Like, if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's a duck. You're a conspiracy theorist, Chris. Tucker White says, well, I gotta link this now.
Bullshit. Come on.
You see, the word conspiracy in the media sense, the minute that word is brought up, then
there's not been aliens yet now.
Everybody rolls their eyes over, like geometry or trigonometry or algebra or, you know, whatever it may be. It doesn't make a difference. They just roll their eyes over once they hear something like that.
They roll their eyes at you because you're talking about nonsense, Chris. Andrew Patella says also, if it ducks like a quack, it's a quack.
You know, because they have no common sense to realize.
The flat earther is lecturing us about common sense.
The truth. Or even to research it. And all you have to do is just research flat earth. And you'll
research on the bingo card.
Find so much shit. But don't go on.
Do I want 40k factions in a nutshell? No. No, I don't. I don't care about 40k. So I don't want that. Thanks for asking. Jesus.
Google, go onto a different search engine. Because then you'll be able to find it. Oh, man. I mean, you know, here we are on September 11th, and you know what? Don't get me started with this. I'm not even going to get into it, okay? That's all. Just end it right here and tell you right now that everything out there is there to distract you, okay? That's all it is to do. Everything.
Daddy's Too Many says, I meant world countries as seen by 40k is funny. Just read it. I'm in the, we're doing a thing right now. I'm not going to stop the stream and read your meme.
The minute you flip that TV on, you might as well be watching a cartoon.
Is that false flag? I would call his plandemic thing a false flag, sure. Oh, also he's a 9/11 truther, probably. That counts too.
You know, well, my daughter used to love Peppa Pig. And I've become very fond of it. I like Peppa Pig. You know, it's cute, kind of real. You know, I mean.
What do you mean Peppa Pig's kind of real? What?
It's just, I don't even know why I got into this. How the fuck did I get into this? I don't know. But
what?
Cartoons that I used to like when I was younger were like Pac-Man and stuff like that. The Smurfs.
Wow, he is old.
You miss those times, don't you? You miss those times before you got into Flat Earth. Before you realize this is all bullshit.
Empty the Tank says, CC seems like someone who thinks 9/11 was a setup, but still uses it to hate Muslims.
I know you want to cling on to it, but it's gone. That's all gone. You now know the truth. Like all of us flat earthers do.
Adding to the bingo card tracker. All right.
Now what are you going to do? You know? You want to wake these people up? You want to sit on a sidewalk with a fucking sign?
Can someone get his wife, right?
I don't know. All right. It's just,
yeah, it's
people
fine
need
if
to
you
wake
track
the fuck
that.
up. You know, they've been all locked up for the last year. Now they're actually finally out. I mean, imagine being stuck in your house for a year.
Why are you mad then? People are getting vaccinated and leaving their homes. Isn't this what you wanted, is people to leave their homes?
Now you're going to come out and you're going to wear a diaper.
Face diaper on the bingo card.
Fuck. Can't even say that. All right. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. And let me be a part of your life.
I hate Chris. One more.
You know, I woke up this morning to a picturesque sky. And as I look at it right now, I now see, you know, the real clouds and the fake clouds. You know, the fake clouds are the chemtrails. Do you know what chemtrails are? Those are those planes that are past.
Chemtrails are not a real thing. So conspiracy theorists believe that, Nick says, you're hilarious, part of my life, CC. Speedy Yoshi says, help, my parents asked about the Nabisco strike, and I explained it to them, and my dad is S-wording for Nabisco. Oh, God. What an asshole. Sorry. So conspiracy theorists believe that you've seen airplanes, right? You've seen them. Behind them, there'll be a trail of what appears to be clouds. I assume most of you understand this. But that's what's called contrails. That's a real thing. It happens when condensation, certain weather conditions, temperature, I don't know the specifics, but basically certain weather conditions will cause condensation to accumulate on the wings. And as it flies, it'll leave sort of a trail of that vapor, right? Conspiracy theorists don't accept this explanation for a very common thing that happens, and instead will say, no, they're spraying chemicals all over the place. Why are these chemicals visible? I couldn't tell you, because honestly, I've seen planes actually spray chemicals, and they're invisible. I used to live out in a rural area where they'd spray for mosquitoes often, so I've seen planes actually spray chemicals. Surprise! They don't leave big trails, they just spray it, and it's invisible. For some reason, conspiracy theorists believe that the government is not only releasing secret chemicals that will harm you into the atmosphere, but that they are making them visible for you to see for some reason. It's very stupid.
Passing above us that form that. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see the line?
Where? In fairness, they might be somewhere, but I don't see contrails anywhere in here.
Right there. Okay.
Oh, it's very far in the distance. I don't think you guys can see my cursor. I'm pointing at it with it, though. I think it's right here. It's like in the middle of the image. It's kind of hard to see.
And that's what happens after about a couple of hours.
Oh, no, all that? No, that's a cloud. Those are clouds, Chris. This is clouds. This is literally old man shouts at clouds. It's the meme, but in real life. Oh, no. Speedy Yoshi says, what I would do if I was paid to drop some chemtrails. Load.
Who is this Lisa person?
What?
Muddy says, I thought it was hot water droplets coming out of the engines and then cooling off in the sky to form clouds. The more you know. It might be. I don't know. It's something like that. It has something to do with water vapor on the plane. You can Google it.
Get these.
Vast Lunacy says, but we have to remember that people like CC think there is some extra magic if the bad guys do it in plain sight. That's true. Some of these people, especially the ones who believe in, like, Satanism as, like, a literal thing, like they believe Satan is real and that Satanists worship the devil, they often believe that part of their being evil is also showing people, like the Riddler, leaving clues, and that somehow gives them power. It's stupid. It's just a way of deflecting from the question, if they're all powerful, why are they so visible, according to you? Andrew Patella says, but if the planes are dropping chemicals, why are there still straight frogs? The frogs thing, that's a meme, but there's actually, I think Miles Power did a good series on this, the Adrazine frogs thing. It's actually partially true, but a misinterpretation of what was going on. There is a chemical, Adrazine, that was causing a certain species of frog to change their sex. So they weren't necessarily gay frogs. They were frogs that were changing their sex because they were exposed to these chemicals. Because there are certain frogs in nature that will change their sex anyway. If you've seen Jurassic Park, there's a allusion to this. But yeah, that was a real thing. Adrazine or something was causing a certain species of frog in a specific area to do that, and then Alex Jones got a hold of that and expounded and was like, they're doing this to everyone, they're turning the frogs gay. You've seen the clip.
Little wispy clouds. See, those are real clouds. That's a real cloud right there.
Chris, there are different kinds of clouds. I learned this in elementary school in like 1st or 2nd grade. Let's look. Types of clouds. Let's give Chris an elementary school lesson, shall we? So, there are all sorts of different clouds. There are cumulonimbus, there are circulumulus, cirrus, cirrostratus, altostratus, nimbostratus. You get it. There are different kinds of clouds depending on the altitude and conditions. Not every cloud looks like a cartoon cloud. Clouds look different.
And so is that.
Decker White says, man, no wonder America, Delta, and United are so huge. The government paying them to spray chemicals on us people.
But these little wispy things, yeah. Now that's from chemtrails.
No, those are also clouds.
Okay.
Sorry, Yoshi.
And they usually do them right before a storm or right after a storm. They like to cover the sky because they're hiding the truth from you.
Funny.
And the truth is that the sun is not 93 million miles away. You know, it's funny because I went on...
I believe that's an average because we're in an elliptical orbit.
I forgot what that thing that we have in our place that I want to just like throw out the fucking window. Says it's 94 million miles away, so they upped it another million miles.
Chris, it's an average. We are in an elliptical orbit. How far we are away from the sun varies depending on the time of the year. Tucker White says, also this Tinfoil Tuesday, Hannah, not 8th grade science class. Make with the sex jokes. Morok says, as Miles Prower said in his video, nobody has been able to replicate the experiment that purported to find the trans frog, so it's dubious experiment at best, especially given the scientist who did that initial experiment claims the procedure, or the producers of Adrazine or whatever, were sending people to stalk him and kidnap his family and stuff. Gotcha. Tube Man says, this is my favorite cloud.
Oh, look, Bulma! Isn't it neato?
Yeah, how's...
Not gonna let Funimation DMCA me.
Which is bullshit. This thing is local. Very close to you. Can I prove it? It doesn't make a difference, but I can tell you right now, they are fucking with us with these fucking clouds. I mean, look at that. Look at that chemtrail right there. You see that? Look at that.
It's not a chemtrail, it's a
wispy
cloud.
Little clouds. Explain that. Real cloud, right here. Fake cloud.
They're both clouds! Toei, you're right.
Nobody
Toei.
looks up anymore. Why would they look up anymore? I mean, they're too confused. You know, they're so consumed with
The arrogance of conspiracy theorists that they think they're the only people who look at the sky is so weird. Like no one looks at the sky anymore. They're all on their phones. Chris, you post videos almost every day. I get you do flat earth research constantly. You're probably on your phone almost as much as I am, if not more, which would be impressive because I'm on my phone constantly. But like, people go outside and they see the fucking sky, Chris.
their phones and with all their bullshit. They're checking their emails.
Boomer. Andrew Batella with a link. These darn Gen Zers with their emails. He's hip with the kids. Look at these people, glassy-eyed automatons going about their daily lives, never stopping to look around and think. I'm the only conscious human in a world of sheep, thinks everyone in this image. Good shit.
I remember that was it a Twilight Zone episode, or it's just like the last time that I was on the subway, everybody, that's all they're doing. They're looking down on their phones.
Oh, look. Here's a picture from like the 30s or 40s or something, and everyone's fucking reading the newspaper. It's almost like people want to read things when they're in transit. And nowadays the modern version is either reading a book or the paper or your phone, because everyone has a phone with them all the time. Chris, it's the subway in New York. People don't want to interact with crazy other people in New York. You idiot. Maybe he doesn't get it because he's the crazy guy, right? He's the guy everyone is avoiding on the subway, because if you start a conversation on the subway with Chris, he's gonna be like, do you know about flat earth? Do you know that clouds aren't clouds? And they'll be like, oh Jesus, I should have just been reading my fucking phone. Vast Lunacy says, I can't believe that CC is every boomer meme distilled into one person. Except his wife hates him. I don't know if he hates his wife, though. I was told to go to 1953 here.
That by spraying vinegar into the air above her now dead lawn, she can make contrails 30,000 feet away disappear. Because, you know, reasons.
And now I'm going to spray the vinegar and show you how the chemtrails will disappear.
Contrails disappear with time, regardless. What? Your vinegar that you're spraying at ground level is not affecting the contrails. Bloodwine says, he's just mad because everyone else who stares at the sky a lot is called an astronomer and they're better at math than him.
And you gotta wait a little while, and then they start to break up. The ones that we saw before are all breaking up, as you can see. You don't see any lines. And the ones that were over here are completely gone. So I gotta spray some more. Look what they're doing. See? But over my yard where I sprayed, you can see it clearing up.
Here's another one who thinks he can make clouds and contrails disappear by waving around a bottle of open cider vinegar.
Hey, have some of this.
Typically what happens is they spray their vinegar and come back half an hour later to find that the sky has changed. As we've come to expect, these folk can't explain how vinegar sprayed down here affects water condensation levels up there. But apparently the acid is what does it, because, you know, reasons. Vinegar is typically between 92 and...
I hope whatever species, if we don't completely kill the Earth, and there is still life that continues to evolve on this planet for, you know, millions and millions of years after we're gone, I hope the next species has a better educational system, because this is going to be our downfall. Andrew Patella says, also, I have a talisman that protects me from lions, and I haven't been attacked by lions.
For what? What are you doing that's so important? What's important here is this nonsense, okay? That. Okay, they're fucking with your weather.
Weather control on the bingo card.
People don't even see this. I mean, it's just like so obvious. Just like the flat earth is. But I mean, this is just right in your face. You see that little guy? Look at that little guy right there. See? There he goes. Real cloud. Okay, let's go back to school here. Real cloud. Fake.
It's funny that he says go back to school when he apparently doesn't even remember. In fairness, he went to school in like the 70s. So I don't know if in the 70s they didn't teach people about different kinds of clouds. I don't know if anyone in chat here was in school in America in the 70s. But when I went to school in the 90s and early 2000s in elementary school, we learned that there are different kinds of clouds.
Wispy clouds. Okay, you see that? It's not too hard to see, guys. If you can't see this, then you're done. Finished. If you can't even see that they're fucking with our weather, and they're screwing around with it, and all the politicians out...
Zero M80, thanks for 9 months. It's time, Hannah. I'd prefer a Star Wars name. We can do that. What you looking for? Oh, are you putting together that TV stand? Thank you. Star Wars names. It's gotta be on here. They have like every popular franchise. Star Wars. We gotta pick a Star Wars species. Tube Man says we will most likely be replaced by hyper-intelligent cephalopods. I hope they do better with the planet than we did. We're gonna go Gungan. This child is Gungan. Okay, this child's name is Flart Show. Flart Show is the name of this baby. Flart Show. Cobb Shunks is a pretty good one, too.
Out there right now, what's the first thing that they scream out in Westchester County? Oh, yes, it's climate control. Or global warming. Oh, whatever happened to global warming?
It's still a thing, Chris. It's a climate crisis that we're currently having. You live in New York where a hurricane hit the city recently because of climate change. E-Tune says, all hail the Octolings.
They've done without that now. Now they're concentrating on, I forget what the hell the word is right now, but...
Are you thinking of climate change or climate crisis? Because they're the same thing. They're just describing it in different words.
You know, I mean, they keep changing the name of it.
Yes. It's still the same thing.
Look, NASA has been lying to us. Every space agency in every country is bullshit. They're all connected to NASA. All of them.
No, they're not. They are not. The USSR's space agency was in direct competition with NASA during the Cold War, and there are tons of other space agencies currently existing. Israel, I know, has a space agency. China has a space agency that is, you know, its own thing. I think they just sent a rover to Mars, and conspiracy theorists and weird nationalists were mad about it. They're like, China couldn't put a drone on Mars, and it's like, why not? They have a ton of money, of course they can do that. Like, there are other countries that have space programs. Muddy says, you see those clouds up there? Those are God's pubes, and if one of them touches you, you get good luck for some amount of time. This is real and not a demon joke that gets humans to touch strange, gross stuff. Blackwing Hecate says, CC, why doesn't anyone look at the sky anymore? Also, CC.
Look down! Look down!
Prisoner 24601, your time is up and your parole's begun. Yeah. Vast Lunacy says, NASA is the massa checkmate round earthers. Yikes.
I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
So that's what Chris has been up to. Literally yelling at clouds. Well worth his time and ours. Okay, so let's check out this channel we haven't looked at before. This is called Inspired. Let's see what it has to say.
Well, Tartaria was everywhere, and history is fabricated, completely fabricated, all of it. We used to think, well, you know, the Dark Ages, we don't know what that is. We realised that they invented the Dark Ages and just put that in there to push a whole bunch of stuff back in the past.
What?
And we realised, you know, some of history might be wrong, but no, it's all fabricated, the whole lot is.
Oh, okay, they think all of history is wrong. Oh no, okay. The study of history is an imperfect thing, but it doesn't make it fake, right? We construct a narrative of the past based on first-hand accounts, or second-hand accounts if that's all we have. That doesn't make it fake. It makes it a reconstruction to the best of our abilities, or rather to the best of the abilities of those who are trained to handle and understand primary source documents. The idea that you could just say all of history is fake is the weirdest shit. Andrew Batella says, I sure hope he follows that with the universe started last Thursday. Guys, no, we talked about this in the other stream. The universe starts next Tuesday. Okay? Right now is a false memory that's being implanted in you next Tuesday, so you think there's a past. Now is not happening.
It's fabricated. An interesting thing is the architecture we find all around the world, in all of our cities, that old Gothic style architecture, incredibly intricate design, and people look at it and say, oh, that's just the way they did things in the old days. A lot of those buildings, like, they're so beautiful. The design of those buildings is so beautiful. And think about it, if we lived in a feudal culture, if we lived in a culture where you had to go out and work for a living and earn a wage in order to pay to be alive, you would never have had the time or the inclination to construct buildings that look like that and function in the way they did.
How do I explain to this man that it was some people's job to build those buildings? Masonry is a job. Wealthy people, or the government, or the church, which had money through either taxes or tithes or money they had made, would pay workers, if we're talking about like Gothic Baroque architecture, would pay architects and then workers to build them. That was their job. That was their job, to build those. Some of those took hundreds of, like, decades to build. And if we're talking, like, further in the past, then slavery. I don't, what? Andrew Patella says, I'm sorry, I realized next Tuesday that I missed the last stream where you mentioned that. Mike Mack says, Jeremy Baramy.
These buildings...
Racist disbelief of historical achievements? I'm gonna say yes, even though he's sort of just being racist towards medieval peasants. I'll count it.
were created as artistic statements. I mean, they were functional, they were power sources, they were generators. They used to generate their own free electricity, all sorts of things. But
no, what? No, what? No, what? You think buildings used to create their own electricity?
In such a way that the beauty was a part of it. You just wanted to celebrate what you were creating. We don't do that sort of stuff anymore.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Look, a lot of skyscrapers are very functional just because we live in a system that values, in many cases, function over form, right? Because we live in a society where... Joker. I'm not trying to do a fucking meme here. I'm just genuinely trying to explain. So yeah, sometimes buildings are just very blocky, you know, whatever. That's practical. When you're building a skyscraper, you want to do so in a stable way, and it costs a lot of money to make a skyscraper that looks, you know, atypical or whatever, and keep it safe and make sure that it's going to withstand earthquakes or storms or whatever it happens to be, right? But, like, the style has changed, right? Skyscrapers are still built by architects, or designed, rather, by architects to be statements, to be beautiful, right? Like, I'm trying to see. Like, this, I think, is the tallest skyscraper in the world. I think this is in Dubai. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not a beautiful design for a building, you know? The style has just changed. Gothic architecture is not popular nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the One World Trade Center, we can look at New York. Let's look at New York. Or look at even oh gosh, why can't I think of it? The Chrysler Building? Like, that's practical, but it also kind of tapers up towards the top, and that's artistic for what they were able to do at the time. And then you look at something like the One World Trade Center, and that's clearly artistic. The style has just changed, right? In different cities, and if you're not going for something really, really tall. If we look at modern architecture, let's look at, like, office buildings or something. But you can see the same thing in home design, too, if you're building, like, a modern building and you have money, right? This is a style. This is not just function. It's a style. Like, this is a building that has a style. It's still a box, but it has glass parts. It has a mixing of materials that creates a juxtaposition, right? Again, like, I'm not into architecture, so I couldn't go into all the stuff that goes into the design elements. But, like, buildings don't look like they used to because styles change. I feel like I'm talking about this more than I have to, because you all understand this, and it's not like this guy's ever gonna see this video, but, like, how can you look at buildings that get designed today and say, like, oh, that didn't take any work, that's not artistic, that's bullshit. Like, no! The styles are different, and that's fine. Human styles of architecture and design for basically any creative medium change constantly. That's normal. Like, even Gothic Baroque architecture, or whatever you were talking about, it is a change from the previous status quo, and then that was the status quo for a while for buildings like cathedrals and stuff, and then it continued to change. Look up melting skyscraper for something utterly stupid. I've seen that, yeah. This is a skyscraper that got built that they weren't thinking about it, and it kind of bends, right? Which is kind of a cool design in theory. In practice, it works like it works like I don't even know what you would consider it. It works like a focusing lens or something, where the reflections coming off of it all converge at a point, and it's melting cars on the street. But still, the design itself, it's a design for a building, right? I don't know what to say. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, the New York Minster Cathedral took 252 years to complete in like 7 generations of architects. Shit gets done with institutions with absolute power. Slowly. Yeah. Big Sweet Demon says, also building styles are directed largely by land development code created by each city. They dictate the kind of style a building can be in certain districts because of its zoning. Examples, historic districts usually must maintain the historic style. Yeah, to make it look consistent so it's not a hodgepodge. There's even a town in Michigan called Frankenmuth, which is pretty interesting. Frankenmuth is a city that takes on sort of Swiss architectural style, and if you have a building in Frankenmuth, it has to be built in this style. It's a touristy area, and I think this is because the area was settled by, you know, immigrants from that area of the world. Although this says Bavarian Inn. Is Bavarian? Whatever it is. German? Whatever the fuck this is. Andrew Patella says, the video said that the style of the buildings generates energy. The melting skyscraper reflects, but hey. Like up to and even, oh, I've been to the cheese house. You bet your ass I've been to the cheese house. There's so much cheese in there. Southern Germany next to Switzerland. There we go. But yeah, like, there's even a McDonald's in town, that has to mirror the style, even though it's McDonald's, because the building codes in Frankenmuth, within the city limits, require you to build your buildings in this style to maintain the look, the touristy, kitschy shit. Bingo? Did you get bingo? That is cheese on the bingo card. That's true. Pointless. If you have bingo, share your thing with me and I will check it. Honestly, since I already said it, let's look inside the cheese house so we can all be happy about it. Holographic fake sun, harp, free space, coincidence, lupine or Cassia make a guest appearance. Yep, you win. Pointless. You have won today's bingo. Congratulations. I will write your name down. Give me 1 sec so I can do that, and we will take a look at the cheese house and continue with Tinfoil Tuesday. Saved. Let me know when you want that bingo thing, or if you want it gifted to someone else at some time in the future. Alright, let's look at the cheese house. So this is the cheese house. It's a big old cheese store. They got a little mouse thing, which is cute. Inside, they have people in the center cutting... yeah, I'm 12. Cutting cheese and packaging the cheese and stuff that gets made in-house. They have a huge selection. I mean, it's just the whole store is just wall-to-wall cheese. It's wonderful. And stuff that goes with cheese. I think they have a small wine section. They have crackers and stuff like that. Garlic bacon cheese, horseradish, jalapeno spread. Exclusively made by Frankenmuth Cheese House. 3 cheese spread. I had a chocolate cheese there once that was actually surprisingly good. This is an old vintage picture of the cheese house. I know I gotta remove the Peter TV thing. But yes, I enjoy the cheese house and I would like to go back. Oh, is there a truck now? The Cheese Trap, featuring products from the Frankenmuth Cheese House. Gourmet grilled cheese and fried cheese curds. Oh, that sounds good. Alright, I'm getting distracted by cheese.
Just the beauty of those buildings and the incredible...
Try cheese from Nazareth? Is that a thing? Okay.
complexity of those buildings is a great indication that we didn't live in this pay-to-be-alive society that we're living in now.
I mean, no, capitalism is, in its current form, is relatively recent, but prior to that you had mercantilism and feudalism and all sorts of different ways of organizing society. People still had to, like, work to live, and they made a wage. It was just different. No one said capitalism is how we've always existed. But the idea that people also built, like, cathedrals and stuff just for funsies is stupid? No, they got paid to do it, or they were slaves, or indentured servants, or something along those lines. Like, that was their job. Building those and designing those was a job. Dude from Moria says, if this dude is talking about buildings today not having aesthetic value, he's dead wrong. Check out this cathedral. Oh. I'm not going to say I like it, but it certainly is a design, isn't it? Looks like a UFO. I don't know. It's a little minimalist for me. It looks like the kind of building that you'd see in like a retro futuristic 1950s sci-fi movie.
Tartaria was all over the world. It was an advanced culture that had free energy. It was based on etheric energy, and it existed up until around about 200 to 250 years ago. We think even like the earliest would be about the mid-1700s. It maybe was destroyed, possibly.
Why did the slave trade exist then? They had infinite free energy, but the slave trade predates the ending of that civilization? That's weird.
Even a little.
I should say the transatlantic slave trade.
A bit later than that. And around about 1880, the late 1800s, they repopulated the world with children. And then they taught them whatever history they wanted. And you got to wonder where all the children came from. Just look up foundling homes and foundlings and orphan trains across the United States.
Foundlings is what they called orphans in The Mandalorian.
Across Europe, they were everywhere, children everywhere. A couple of years ago, I was reporting on all this sort of stuff. And then the fires broke out and COVID broke out, and I had to kind of leave the topic and get on to more important things that are dealing with us now. But they repopulated the world with children in the late 1800s. They were literally having, they had amusement parks where they had babies on display. They had baby raffles in Paris in 1915.
What? Strumbly for Wi-Fi says, as a non-Catholic who went to... I don't know what that is. And so-and-so's Basilica in Mexico City, all I see is a lot of gold and labor that could have been spent feeding and housing people. Maybe I'm too cynical and atheist, but religious buildings have less value to me than actual landfills. I mean, I've seen the Vatican, so I know what you mean. S-word for Pentius says, the architecture I really like is the Japanese UFO buildings. Okay, hold on. Baby raffle. France. 1915. When a Paris foundling hall held a baby raffle. So this was a real thing for an orphanage, apparently. In 1911, it's 1911, the world is buzzing with awe and innovation and change. The first airplanes dot the skies. Marie Curie has just won her second Nobel Prize. George V is crowned the King of the United Kingdom. The Titanic is unveiled as the world's greatest ship, and in a Paris orphanage, there is a baby raffle. The World's Fair tradition was weird. A baby boy, 1 month old, the charge of the Washington Children's Home Society, was one of the prizes offered at the exposition. His name is Ernest, and maybe he will have a surname if the winner, holding the proper ticket, comes to claim him. L.J. Covington, in charge of the society booth in the agricultural building, said that no one had claimed the baby. The winner will not know that the prize is when he comes to the booth, and Mr. Covington is anxiously waiting to see what will happen when the ticket holder makes the discovery. So what, they just said you won a prize and you're supposed to go there and they're like, you won this baby, and you're like, I don't want a baby, and they go, no, but you won, it's your baby. Holy shit. Humans are weird.
Trains of orphans going across the country, across the United States. Orphans being sent out to Australia, New Zealand, Africa. Just repopulated the whole world with children, then taught them whatever history they wanted.
No.
And now we've got to this point where they're basically harvesting all the souls of those people. It's like they grew their herd, you know. I've often referred to the earth as a people farm. We're living in a people farm, and people don't really realize it. I think of each country as its own separate pen, and what they've done now at the end, this is harvest time, and they're stock taking. They've closed all their pens, they're doing their stock take, and they're harvesting all those souls that they can get.
What the fuck is this? Nick says, right in the middle between Powerball and Shirley Jackson's The Lottery.
Leading them into the mainframe, and it's a natural progression from what happened in Tartaria. I mean, this will be the complete loss of human consciousness if they are able to lead us in there and actually able to get away with this. It will be the end of humanity. But when you really look
at this point, fine. We had a... You know, I was going to say we had a good run, but we really didn't, did we? Huh.
What we had. I mean, it's incredibly inspiring to see the art and to see the ancient history that's right there in our own cities, if you just go out and look around your city with the right eyes.
You're dumb! Oh my god. Oh look, it's the same channel in another video.
You know, the American people, for too long, have been an irresponsible, free people. And even generation to generation, as they've become less free, they don't recognize it. They have lost the ability of critical thought. In order to regain critical thought, all you have to do is read your Constitution and then look at the laws that govern you, especially from the federal perspective. It's unconscionable to allow your freedoms to be taken away.
This is just going to be anti-vax shit from the mouth of a native person, unfortunately. Oh, monetary system. That one's boring. We'll look at that channel again someday. I just gotta find another video as crazy as history is fake guy. History's not fake, for the record. Historians are doing their best. Most people are. Overheating. I kept it on for 2.5 hours, though. It's getting cooler out, because I'm not taking it off after 15 minutes. This is a cute shirt. I bought this the other day. It's actually really cute. Nice. What else we gonna watch? Grammatically correct. What's this? This person says, this is from Christian Patriot News, Trump bombshell, they will decertify the 2020 election. Trump's epic return as president. Doubt.
Welcome to this Christian Patriot News update. Today is Saturday, September 11th, 2021.
Oh, God.
This is the 20-year anniversary of the horrific attacks on the Twin Towers in downtown New York City. On the eve of this anniversary, our favorite president stated,
Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, that top is so close to a pentagram pattern, I want to send you one now. Honestly, I'd wear one. Yeah, one with like that'd be sweet. It'd make Call real mad. Moppy Mutton says, look at you looking lovely. Thank you.
I do believe they're going to decertify the 2020 presidential election. And
all right, I just covered a guy who believes the world is flat and that clouds are fake. You can't have what you want. Sorry.
that will mean reinstatement of Donald J. Trump to his rightful position as president of the United States.
That's literally not a thing that can happen. I've said this before, and I'll explain again for people who don't get it. We're talking legally. I'm not talking about if somehow there really was some sort of awful coup which would spell the end of, American democracy. Let's say we're actually going by the law here. Let's say it came out, and this isn't the case. This is a hypothetical scenario. I need to make that clear. I don't advocate or endorse anything this or anyone in this box ever says, basically, because I usually cover crazy people. I barely advocate for what people in my box say, and it's me. No, but seriously, so let's say it came out that Joe Biden was involved in some sort of conspiracy to steal an election. He wasn't. That didn't happen. That's not a thing that happened. But let's say it was for the sake of this hypothetical. What would happen is if he were found to have committed crimes, he would be impeached by the House and then hopefully convicted by the Senate. He would be removed as president. Kamala Harris, being the vice president and next in line, would then become the president, because even if Joe Biden became the president fraudulently, it doesn't matter because the Electoral College still voted for him and he was certified as the president. He's the president, even if he came by it by wrongful means. He didn't, but again, hypothetical. If Kamala Harris, or Kamala rather, was discovered to also be involved, similarly impeached, removed. Then it goes to Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, and would go down this chain. Trump is nowhere in the chain of command, or rather in the chain of succession. There's no legal way for Donald Trump to become the president until 2024. Unless Biden died and Kamala for some reason picks Trump as the vice president and then she dies. Or if he gets into the chain of succession somehow and the people above him died, of course. But, there's no version of this where Trump just gets deemed the rightful winner and gets the presidency. It's not how this works. Wouldn't you be able to impeach both of them at the same time? Yes, most likely. I just forgot to talk about Kamala in the initial thing I was saying about Joe Biden. Again, none of that's true, though, so it's irrelevant.
United States of America. Personal loans are the most popular way to get...
Conspiracy theorists shilling for scam company? A loan company? Let's look at this. Zippy loan. What do you think the interest rates on these are? Genuinely. Payday loan review. Uh-oh. Guess. What are the rates on this? What do you think? What do you think? Just curious. Let me see if they even list it on the front page without me having to put information in. Request online in 5 minutes? Oh, that seems legit. Let me see in the fine print if there's any. Zippy Loan is not a financial institution, lender, loan... Zippy Loan is not a financial institution, lender, loan broker, or an agent of a lender or loan broker. Zippy Loan does not make loans. It is involved in the loan approval process and is not involved in the lender decision-making process in any way. Zippy Loan is a free, no-obligation service that introduces prospective borrowers to prospective lenders. Oh, so they're even like a middleman. Ooh. Let's see what Credit Karma has to say about this. Zippy Loan directs people who need money fast to short-term loans from lenders hosted on its platform. But watch out. Payday loans can be a debt trap. No shit. Don't get payday loans if you... I would even say even if you have to, don't. Find something else. You'll never get out of it. These short-term loans come with plenty of fees that may trap you in a cycle of borrowing. Is there any specifics on the... percentage that we're getting? A typical payday loan costs an additional $10 to $30 for every $100 you borrow. So that's between a 10 and 30% interest rate on a loan. That's awful. That's terrible. Oh my god. Paying a $15 fee for every $100 you borrow on a 14-day loan is equal to a 391% annual percentage rate. Holy hell. Yeah, guys, don't do payday loans, and definitely don't get loans via middlemen companies that you hear about on conspiracy videos on Rumble.
Much needed money into Americans' pockets.
Getting your audience into bankruptcy to own the libs.
Personal loans are great for consolidating debt. Don't require...
Not this kind of loan. No, no, no. There are actual legitimate companies that can help you consolidate debt and potentially help you get a lower interest rate on your overall debt. But you need to vet them and make sure they're a company that's not fucking with you. This company, you will never get out of debt for the rest of your life. You will never get out of debt and you will end up bankrupt. Bad. Very bad. I can't believe he's doing this
their collateral
to his
and
audience.
Can improve your credit score.
That hurts me whenever I see someone who has an audience and they try and sell them something like this. Or anything. It could be a supplement that's harmful or even neutral and doesn't do anything or whatever. Like, I understand that this is a parasocial relationship, you know? We're not real friends. We're like internet people that talk to each other occasionally, so that's a different thing. But I would never in a million years intentionally or negligently lead you guys to anything that would be harmful to you. Holy hell. How terrible would that be for someone to, like, use their position as someone who gets to talk to an audience like this and use it to, like, exploit them? That's disgusting.
Finding the right personal loan for your situation, however, can be tricky. This is why I highly
skip the
recommend...
ad. We get it.
It's
a scam.
Watch this soldier. Let's take a moment to remember those who were lost on September 11th, 2001. This is a tribute video narrated by Donald Trump, released by Save America. Watch this.
Remember after 9/11 when Donald Trump lied about seeing Muslims in America celebrating and then said untruly that he now had the largest, tallest buildings in that area of New York? What a nice guy.
This 2-minute clip, and I'll be right back.
We grieve together for every mother and father, sister and brother, son and daughter who was stolen from us.
I'm not going to listen to the Trump propaganda. I'm going to skip ahead to when the guy comments.
Manhattan, the Pentagon, and could have had something that I've never...
Now when you can...
It ends with a donate link. I care very deeply about everyone who died on 9/11. Now give me money. Give me money!
Consider this article. I want you to ask yourself a very important question. Has our favorite president ever made an allegation that didn't end up being true?
Yes! Yes.
President Donald J. Trump says, I do believe they are going to decertify the election.
Honestly, at this point, if Donald Trump says something, even if I don't know about the topic, if I just go the opposite of what Donald Trump says, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be right. Princess Amelia says, okay, I'll give you money. Thank you. Seriously, if Donald Trump said the sky was blue, I'd start questioning whether or not the sky was blue. That's hyperbole, obviously, but you get what I'm saying.
President Trump just dropped bombshell news on the matter of election integrity by predicting that officials will decertify the 2020 president.
What officials? Which ones, Donald? Please explain to me these officials that don't exist, that somehow have purview and the power to somehow unilaterally place you in the highest position of government in this country.
Presidential election. Discussing consequences for the rigged election, Trump told the Gateway pundits Jim Hoft during a Friday afternoon interview, I do believe they are going to decertify the election. They know it was rigged, he added, after a week of damning reports alleging vast voter
We're 9 months into the first year, Donald. You better hurry up.
irregularities in Maricopa County, addressing the Arizona canvassing report published by Liz Harris, which claimed that the number of lost votes identified in Maricopa County is 173,104.
I find this funny, too, because they're claiming they lost votes. The people who are doing the audit in Arizona, the Cyber Ninja people, that would be their fault. The votes were there when you were given them. Where did they go? They were in your control. Like, what did you do with them? You lost them? You lost over 100,000 votes that are supposed to be maintained for like 2 years after the election legally? You're in trouble, you know that, right?
Now, if you didn't see my previous update, make sure that you get yourself caught up because I cover all of this in great detail in my previous update. You can find it in the description box below this video. 173,104, or the equivalent of nearly 3 Sun Devil stadiums, she said during an interview on Steve Bannon's War Room this week. 2.5 times that stadium is the number of people in Maricopa County whose votes were lost. In addition to missing votes, the report also identified 96,389 ghost votes, which are described as mail-in votes that likely could not have been physically cast by the voter that the vote was registered to because of address changes. These voters did not have a secondary mailing address and were either unknown to the residents who lived at their voting address since September 2020 or were known but confirmed to not have lived at the residence since prior to the election and often had not lived there for many years. The combined number of lost and ghost votes, as well as many more inaccurate votes, were discovered by canvassers, brings the number of total vote discrepancies to 269,493. And that's just one county in the state of Arizona.
They think they found... How many voters were even in Maricopa County? How many votes were cast in Maricopa County 2020? So 2 million votes were cast, meaning they think like, what's half of 25%? Someone give me half of 25%. Mike Max says, I'm surprised there isn't a Trump-based religion at the moment with this type of copium. 12.5. They're claiming that 12.5% of the votes in this county were fraudulent. 12.5. 250,000 votes. Good luck with that.
A state that was allegedly won by
Have a good night, dude from Moria.
Joe by just 12,000 votes. Trump called Liz Harris a patriot for her findings, praising the report that alleges hundreds of thousands of lost or ghost votes. On the matter of
I need to bring this up too. When they published this, there was a specific plot of land on the cover because they were like, we found this plot of land and we couldn't find the person there who was registered here to vote. And they had to retract it and republish it because it turned out after 5 seconds of research, people all pointed out that the plot of land that they used as the cover, the picture, had a trailer on it in the back where the person who voted lived. So that's the level of competency we're dealing with here in terms of their canvassing efforts. The cover picture was of property where the person still lives. They just didn't actually go to the residence on the property.
You look very pretty.
Thank you.
Check your Twitter DM.
Oh. Sorry, I haven't looked at my phone. Oh! You're wonderful.
Arizona, Trump said, I lost a very close number, but we were way up ahead, and someone is going to have to ask Fox News about their curious early call for Arizona to go to China Joe. Personal
Very impartial.
loans are the most popular way to get much
Or is he
needed
doing a
money
second ad for the loans? We're only 7 minutes into the video.
into Americans' pockets. Consumers choose personal loans over other types of loans like title and home equity loans because they offer the most flexibility with the most freedom at the lowest rates in the industry.
The lowest rates in the industry. Low like 369% APR. Woo! For reference, like my home loan is at like 2 point something percent APR. 2 versus like 300%. Jesus fucking Christ. Even like a credit card, even like a bad credit card is like 20 or 22% APR. Not fucking 300. Don't bankrupt your audience, you idiot.
Personal loans are great for consolidating debt. They don't require collateral, and they can improve your credit score.
The best you saw was for 1,200%. Oh, lovely.
Finding the right personal loan for your situation, however, can be tricky. This is why I highly recommend to get a Zippy loan. They offer an expansive network of lenders that provides you with
That's terrible. His poor audience. I hope none of them actually go for
secure
this.
in the description. Quip.
How much of this video is just ads for payday loans?
Yesterday with the givers. You're supporting this front line.
He sounds like Call's brother. Princess Amelia says 300. That is a ripoff. Yeah, that's honestly fraud. I don't think anyone should be able to give out loans for that high of an interest rate. Arguably, a lot of people think you shouldn't be able to give out interest rate loans anyway, and think that all lending should be done through the government. But that's a discussion for a Chud Watch or something. H. Baird says the lost votes, quote, ended up with all of my lost transition-related health insurance claims. I got it worked out. Pro tip, find the insurance company's account manager for your employer. They can go around all the red tape. Nice. Midnight says, don't know who needs to hear this, but you are awesome. You're worth it, and you matter. Have we already done Call? No, I might have to push him just because we're already almost 3 hours in.
Soldier. Our favorite president has been talking a lot lately. He's been conducting a lot of interviews.
Honestly, this is just typical Trump bullshit, so I'll just skim through this. I just want to see how many payday loan ads are in this. We're already at 2.
It says our TIF
Regulation cuts, money, I don't know.
They're doing to our
thing like that.
to congratulate. Yet they're saying
54 million. The only problem is happening in Georgia, but Simon's in
president.
People.
The biological scars the country. It can just
2:2 amongst the people of Corinth. The Corinthians had a philosophical issue, but while knowledge
of the world, I pray, Father, and your land, but now.
If the links aren't in your description box, or if the links don't work in advance, and our Savior,
only 2?
Jesus
Weird.
Christ, for those
Why
of
did he
us-
put an ad at the beginning and then 7 minutes in? That's so unbalanced. How strange. Anyway. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub. We're at 58% of level 1 of another hype train. Alright. Call's doing stuff. He's doing stuff on his brand new channel, A Call for Fudge Kitties, because his other channel got striked because he's, breaks TOS a lot. So let's see what he's talking about. Surprise! He thinks streetlights are part of the cabal now. Princess Amelia with 500 bits says snipe and becomes the stream boss. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits, thank you. And the lady that lives here, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
This is A Call. Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. I don't know who this is, but you're on my backup channel. So thank you for being here. I gotta be careful what I say, because I don't, right, we all know why. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick story on this.
I'm done playing, by the way. Anytime Call does anything that's even slightly TOS, I'm gonna report it, because I wanna get him removed from the internet.
Most of you may recall, a few weeks ago I did a video about these black
Like, I don't really find him funny anymore. He just annoys me.
lights that were popping up. So street lights that just so conveniently were getting black lights installed in them. Nobody
They're not black lights, Call.
happened to, I mean, we got states where there's about 6,000 of these up and in. Nobody tested it out, of course, right? They just put them all in. They didn't test one out and say, hey, wait a minute.
I gotta explain the context for this. So in some areas of the country, they installed new LED streetlights in some areas, and there was a manufacturing defect that after some amount of run time was causing the lights to appear bluish purplish. They've said that they're working on this, and then they're going to get them switched out and fixed. There was some manufacturing defect that caused them to have wear and tear quicker than usual, and it caused this shift in the hue of light. It's very simple. It was a manufacturing defect. It was a design error or something. Not really a big deal. It's weird, but it's a thing that happened, and Call thinks it's a conspiracy. Bloodwine Tabletop RPG says, hand it a Call. Ha 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 ha. Alright, you're out of chud juice. Get the fuck out. Noetic Fox says, yes, he was going full Gina. He's going full Gina for my celebration of his idiocy. Call for a hype train. True.
This looks like it might be purple. Nope, they put them all in, and now they go, well, we have to figure out a plan, to replace them, but for the time being, they're going to be in. Now, all you have to do is use your mind to realize why these are in, and the reason I'm doing...
Okay, guys, why do you think Call thinks, we're going to have a chat brainstorm, why do you think Call thinks the street lights are black lights now?
I know.
You've seen the video. That's not fair. That's a cute shirt. Chat, why do you think Call thinks the lights are now black lights?
You look so pretty. Thank you. You don't have any foundation on?
No.
Wow.
I just look. It's because I figured out a way to put that light where it blows me out.
But I'm looking at your face in person.
The reason is he believes the lights will help detect who's vaccinated or not because he thinks there's something in the vaccine that will light up under black light.
Luciferase, which is just a reporter gene that was used in, like, initial discovery of the vaccine. Like, nothing in the vaccine actually has luciferase.
S-word for Pentius says, I can't wait for A24 to finally premiere the official Has Been Hotel series. Call will shit a house. I'm not familiar. Biomancer with 100 bits, and iMiracle165 with another 100. Thank you. 47% to level 3.
In this video is because more of them have been popping up over the last couple of weeks. So the initial story that they gave was that it was a manufacturer's defect. Huh? I mean, give me a break, right?
People in Call's comment section think that it's because lizards.
I'll read the comment right now. Let me see. I know I saw it. There we go. This person says, apparently this lighting is best for reptiles. They absorb things better and can see with the UV their prey gives off. As a reptile person, I can tell you that is not true. We can see in the dark. Whoa!
We're supposed to believe that?
Holy ball sacks. Hold on. H-Baird says, as a distance runner, I actually would like to glow in the dark. Vast Lunacy gives 30 tier 1 subs. Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Very generous. Brings us to 387% of the level 5 hype train.
You all are so fantastic.
You are.
I mean, that's like, these are very expensive lights. Okay, this isn't like going and buying a light bulb for...
And the government never does dumb shit accidentally by hiring the lowest bidding contractor.
Yeah, but that's not even it. It's not like... Cole thinks that they just didn't test the lights.
Oh, I'm sure they did. It's a wear and tear thing.
He thinks that they put them in, and then that day, when the sun, went down... They were purple.
Purple.
And... he thinks that's what happened when it was actually the lights have a manufacturing defect where they were put in and then 6 months later they started dying and they have a purple tint to them because they are dying, when they should last for 8 years.
Huh. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub, so they just have to change the bulbs? That seems...
I mean, they're LEDs.
Yeah.
They're like LED panels. So they just switch out the panels.
Gotcha. Morak says, Has-Been Hotel is an adult animated series about the daughter of Lucifer founding a hotel in hell to rehabilitate sinners and hopefully move them on to heaven. Its pilot is on YouTube for free. I recommend it. It's a raunchy musical comedy with a touch of heart to it. All right.
For your bathroom, okay? And then seeing it might end up being purple, but it wouldn't because they would test it out before they sold it. So you would think when it comes to how expensive...
Light fairies are switching out random bulbs in random cities, when in actuality, random bulbs are just dying because they all have this manufacturing defect because they all came from the same place.
Andrew Patella says, Hannah is the kind of reptile that only glows with tinfoil wear on.
All this is, they might check it out. So here's Kansas now. They're popping up in Kansas, and I'll cover the other places in a minute. But take a look. We have Kansas, and we have a few other places where these are just popping up all over.
Welcome back to KSN News at 10. They are hard to...
I'm just going to skip this part. This is literally just news people covering this, and that it annoys some people because it hurts their eyes. Which is weird, but I guess that is a thing that happens to some people.
Literally, blue light glasses exist because people get eye fatigue from computers because of all the blue light.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Red is the easiest for your eyes to see. So, blue is on the opposite spectrum? No?
Yellow.
Yellow is? That's on the warm end, though.
Yeah, but there's a whole part of the red spectrum that we can't see, hence infrared.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it's not the easiest.
Okay.
Working on replacing some of those lights in the upcoming month.
Chrysia says everyone definitely can and should report the ban evasion video. Many reasons.
And again,
I haven't seen a thing that's actually bannable yet, other than the ban evasion, but YouTube doesn't care if you report that. E-Tune says, is Call Shat Bricks over the upcoming Masked Singer spinoff Alter Ego, where people sing as their online avatars? Didn't know that was a thing.
We're supposed to buy into the manufacturer's defect thing. And of course, they're trying to figure out a way to solve the problem. They're going to give a full refund. Isn't that nice of them? Now, why would they be making streetlights in this color? Everybody knows what a black...
They didn't call. It's an error.
Light is used for, don't they? You could see certain things when you hold up a black light, right? Urine...
Like a sweet... actually, that's only true usually if you put luminol on stuff. That's a misconception. You can see some stuff under black light, but it's a lot of it's hard to see unless you spray luminol on it.
Bacteria, saliva, some other things that I shouldn't mention here. But you could see them when held under a black...
He's talking about coom.
Right? Sometimes people use a black light to hold it up to their sheets, and they'll find some very unpleasant things. So what could the purpose of this be? Do they want to see what's on your skin? Oh, do they want to see what's on...
No, the lights broke, Call. The lights broke. What's he going to do in 6 more months when they fix all the lights? Is he even going to remember he made this video and feel stupid? Or is he going to be like, oh, I made that video on it, so they changed their plan?
Under it. Yeah, because what is this old Luciferis thing that we've all heard about, where I've showed you video clips and how it can make things glow like plants? Just imagine what it could do in you. Interesting, right? So,
Call, I don't know how to break this to you, but I literally have a black light flashlight. I don't glow in the dark.
The stories aren't...
And I've been vaccinated since April.
...that more and more of these are being removed. The story is that more and more of these are popping up. So when that's the narrative, when the narrative isn't, there was a manufacturer's defect. Okay, we'll fix the problem. Then I understand if somebody goes, hey, don't be a crazy conspiracy guy. Mistakes do happen. Okay, we've got Kansas on the record, the Carolinas on the record, Wisconsin on the record, Florida on the record, and Texas on the record, in addition to a few other places.
Okay, they're all manufactured by the same company.
People are reporting that these are popping up all over. And I find it hard to believe that they didn't just put it in one streetlight, test it out, and make sure...
Call, you want them to install one streetlight and then wait 6 months? That's not how businesses work.
That it was working properly. Did they do all of the streetlights in the same day?
They probably did them in the same year or 6-month period, and by the time they installed probably thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of them across the country, then the first batch started to go out and they went, oh shit. And now they're going to have to recall or fix the panels in all of them, which is going to take a ton of time because they're going to have to remanufacture all the panels without the defect.
Once the sun set and the lights came on, they went, oopsies.
Oh, he does think it happened immediately. Reading comprehension. That's tough, huh?
Right? You put up all 6, that I find that hard to believe. So even just a few, you put it up, the sun goes down, you turn it on, wouldn't you notice and say, okay, we might have a problem here? Or would you keep putting them in only so you could supposedly uninstall them, right? They're not getting uninstalled. The story's eventually going to be dropped. All they have to do is normalize it.
Let's look. According to the statement, Duke Energy has been upgrading many of their older and less efficient lights with LED lighting over the past few years. Several hundred of these white streetlights across the upstate are now malfunctioning, causing the lights to gradually turn deep purple. The gradually is pretty important if you actually want to read the story, Call. Other utility companies across the nation are using these exact same type of LED lights and are experiencing the same issue. They believe this is the result of one bad batch of lights being distributed across the country. Quote, we're working with the vendor to better understand the issue. They're taking steps to ensure it doesn't happen again. Duke Energy urges residents to help them identify and fix the lights by reporting them online using their streetlight repair tool, which is literally you can go and you can report where the streetlights is broken. Looks like they are in the Carolinas, Florida, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. Weird that it's only in those states, huh? It's almost like it's a result of... Once reported, field crews will repair the malfunctioning light in just a few days. But everything's a conspiracy, because Call's an idiot.
Tell you how it's good for...
The littlest Lil Leafy says, you know how laborers just love having to do a job twice? Call is stupid. He is.
For the environment, and tell you how it's energy efficient. And
LEDs are incredibly energy efficient, Call. Like, that's just, you could like, measure that yourself and see how much energy is coming into an LED bulb versus, why am I not thinking of, an incandescent bulb? LEDs take way less energy. They cost less, and they're better for the environment. There's literally no reason not to get them when they're manufactured correctly.
Oh, okay, that doesn't bother me. And they don't realize why they would be doing this. So they could identify certain people who might have a certain something. Isn't that neat how it all works?
And they last
It's
longer,
amazing to me,
unless they're broken,
that people continue to just go with the flow, go with the punches, and don't even ask basic questions. How does something like this happen? How do thousands of lights... I mean, I could get it maybe if one or two...
I wish I had the level of confidence in society that Call has, where he thinks it's impossible for thousands and thousands of lights to break because of a manufacturing error. Like, that's just how the world works. Recalls happen. Stuff breaks. People fuck up. People are fallible. This happens.
In the batch, turned out to be this color, and they said, oops, we got one or two. Okay, let's go up and take it out and put in a new one when we, in a couple of weeks when we get it sent.
Yeah, they have cards for vaccinated people, and it's probably written in some government database somewhere. I don't know that to be a fact, but it wouldn't surprise me if they keep records, of who was vaccinated or not. Like, just at the very least, it's reported to the government and the CDC just to see how many people are vaccinated. Like, even if it doesn't have your name attached, like, not hard to figure out if someone's vaccinated. You don't need a blacklight. A blacklight's not going to do anything.
To us, not everyone. And why in all these states? Why is it spreading and not going backwards? Wouldn't you think after the first story came out that they would go, oh, did you hear about the malfunction?
They didn't find out for a period of time, Call, because it took a period of time for the light to shift from whatever color it was, yellow, some warm color, to the purple that it is now. And in the period between when it was installed and when the problem became evident, they were still shipping these out to everyone. They don't make one street light panel at a time. They make thousands.
With this brand in the Carolinas,
it would be like, it would honestly be like Tyson chicken products every once in a while. Every few years, there's like a, oh, the chicken's bad, throw out your Tyson chicken or whatever if it's in these areas. And that's because certain batches can get contaminated, right? This would be like me saying, well, why didn't they just take the first chicken bag off the thing and test it? They all went out at once. They all went out at once. It was a bad batch. That's a thing. That's the idea of a bad batch is like such a trope that there's an entire Star Wars show called The Bad Batch about a batch of clones. Like, this is... Huh? Yellow Skull Dog, thanks for following.
Let's make sure before we install that they're all properly functioning and they're all the right color. This has been going on since early 2021 in America. There are stories out in February and March. How convenient, right around that time period, something else happened. And right around that time period, they started popping up. Never to be taken down, never to be replaced, because they go, we're working on it, we're working.
All right, Call, in 6 months, I'm going to check back in on this. I'll probably forget. But I'm going to say in 6 months, I'll look in on this, and I expect an apology when you're wrong and they fix all the lights.
Working on it, we're working on it. Yeah, they're working on it until you stop asking them when they're going to do it and you forget all about it.
They're going to forget that the light is purple. Also, I don't think they're going to forget if they start glowing under the light. Call. A majority of Americans have already been vaccinated. You think none of them would have noticed walking under the street light or driving under it, them go, oh, my veins are glowing.
About it, and you just get used to seeing it all the time, and then they just never address it again and they move on because that's what they do. So more street lights are popping up. More black lights are popping up, and people still don't realize it's going to be like the Scarlet Letter. We already see that's where it's heading. Oh,
calls an adulterer.
You don't have it? Ugh. Might as well come and put a big mark on your door to let people know you don't have it, because you're not allowed to participate in society. You've been shunned. Soon you won't be able to buy groceries.
You can order groceries online, Call. Honestly, grocery stores aren't... I've yet to see a grocery store check vaccination status. It's basically honor system at this point, which is hilarious, considering people like Call have no honor, so they're just gonna do whatever the fuck they want. But, like, if a grocery store said you have to get vaccinated to come inside, I don't blame them. I don't feel bad for you.
And soon they'll be able to just tell who you are and who you aren't by walking you underneath these specific lights, because you'll be able to see it because the person...
If you think totalitarian vaccine police needed to check people, it would be cheaper to give them flashlights. Like I said, I have a blacklight flashlight. So would it make more sense to turn all the lights in every city in America into black lights, or would it make more sense to give the vaccine police that you're positing will exist? They won't. But you're positing they'll exist, a flashlight that costs $20. Or install blacklight LED panels in every streetlight in America. This isn't even a good plan if it were an evil plan. eTune says the year is 2025. Call gets his 69th channel banned and finally snaps, taking a bus to California to try and do a domestic terrorism on YouTube, only to get bodied by security immediately, because I doubt Call has the muscle to back up his words. H. Baird says, I'm frankly surprised there's not more Mark of the Beast talk about vaccines. It's all over the place. You just gotta look for it. I mean, Call does that too.
And they'll give off a glow. And they won't be giving off a glow because they're just glowing with confidence and happiness. They'll be giving off a glow because of a certain something that they put in them.
Come?
And I covered that in the last video. So that's what's going on, folks. They're not stopping. They're just continuing until it's normal and it's everywhere. And people will just go, oh, okay, whatever. Do they work? Do they help? Can you see? Okay, that's all that matters.
Moppy Mutton says he's on the internet where they can follow every keystroke, but sure, they're using black lights.
The dumb keep getting dumber, and the elite keep getting away with whatever they want. Welcome to 2021. Thank you guys again for being here on my backup channel. I appreciate those of you who came over and subscribed. As you know, I got a strike on the other channel. That video was the video about graphene in the masks, for anyone that's wondering. I gave a direct link to the government website, .gov in Canada, where they talked about it, or they did they did a recall on them, and that's what I covered, telling you to be careful because they were doing a recall, and they decided to give me a strike for that. And then when I appealed the strike and said, I'm not giving any info, I'm talking about the recall on the mask, here's the link.
Moppy Mutton says he's on the internet where they can... Oh, I read that one, sorry.
They ignored it within 10 minutes and kept the strike because that's how they work, which is, who knows? I mean, they really don't have much of a vetting process at YouTube. Some videos get strikes that would make no sense, and some don't get strikes where you think maybe it would, or you see it on someone else's channel, you're like, wow, I can't believe they can get this video up. Well, that's how it works. So that was the video that got a strike. I'll probably put that up on the website. Again, I definitely recommend everybody check out the website at callfornuprising.com. Get over there if you're not already. And let me know if you're seeing any of these pop up in your town. I'm very curious where you are. Well, I'm not curious where you live. I'm curious if anyone else is seeing these. I know people on the website were reporting seeing them in places like Florida. And again, if you are on the website, you could share that there. You could take pictures and upload them over there too. But let me know in the comment section. I'm curious. I thank you guys again for being here. God bless all of you and your families.
Oh, call.
A plane.
He did a 9/11 thing too, but I think I'm going to save that. I'll save it. And the other stuff too. I do want to cover this Peter thing, but I'm going to say this is the end of the conspiracy section of the show. We've been going for over 3 hours. However, I'm not going to get off quite yet. I needed to install a heatsink on an SSD, and then I need to install it in my PlayStation 5. And I wanted to do that with chat here so they can see my incompetence. So I'm going to go grab that stuff, and you guys can watch a video while I grab them, okay? What am I gonna put on? Here, watch a Captain Disillusion for a minute while I do this.
Greetings, children, it's me, Captain Disillusion. Thank you for all your excellent video suggestions. It's great how you and I are on the same wavelength. We get it. Unlike the rest of society, am I right? People with their opinions and natural reactions to things. They think music is cool and jokes are funny and recipe videos are pleasant to watch. It's like everyone's in a cult. Remember the alligator golf course video from last month? Everyone was so amazed by the prehistoric creature strutting on the green, but no one had the brains to figure out right away that it's fake. Obviously, it can't be real because alligator too big.
If you look at the pixels, you begin to see that it looks all weird and stuff. The walking seems like totally animated in like a classic computer CGI graphics way. And why is the guy not scared? I would be scared. I mean, it did happen in Florida, which is basically a pile of alligators shaped like a peninsula, and the people that golf there did say this gator is almost like a mascot of the place that everybody knows, but still, I just don't think it looks right. And also this other angle taken from another phone is totally fake too.
It's actually kind of obvious when you know what to look for. Let me illustrate with another one of
Jamie
your
Lynn,
requests.
thanks for a tier 1 sub.
Here's a goodie. The Flyboard Air. A company that makes water jetpacks suddenly came out with a personal flying machine. As if.
Are we supposed to believe that technologies now exist that make an invention like this possible, even though just a few years ago they did not? I don't think so. Just ask yourself, have I ever seen jet...
Alright, let's see. I need to figure out how to install heatsink on SSD. Oh, Baja, I might actually need that screwdriver that was up here. This is literally the one I have, so this
So this is the heatsink that I've gone for. I've put the
hopefully the heatsink I got fits.
name of it on screen now. Now you can either attach it via screws.
What?
Or you can use elastic bands. Now I've opted to use screws as I'm hoping that will last that little bit longer. And this is all you need to do. So you need to add the pink thermal pad to...
Whoa, hold on. I'm gonna screw this up. It's a 2 terabyte SSD too, so it was expensive. I feel like I'm gonna fuck this up.
If you genuinely think you're gonna fuck it up, let me do it.
Oh, there's a little screwdriver in here.
Well, thanks.
Sorry.
I was trying to tell you that there are also screwdrivers in the set of drawers that's in here.
I'll just take the phone out. Oh, this is gonna go well. Okay, I'm gonna watch him do it, and then I'm gonna do it.
Now I've opted to use screws as I'm hoping that will last that little bit longer. And this is all you need
Remember to take off immortality rings? Thank you. I did take them off. Thank you.
to do. So you need to add the pink thermal pad to the bottom plate.
I don't have a pink one. I just have all blue, but I assume that means that's fine because they're all the same color.
Then put the SSD drive on, then the blue thermal pad, followed by the top plate.
This didn't come with instructions, so now I'm concerned because they're all the same color. Does it matter? Other people who do PC stuff, does it matter? It shouldn't matter. Trouble for Wi-Fi says, would you get this pentagram top? That is cute.
It didn't come with instructions.
Thank you.
Now once done, you just need to screw the plates together using the tiny little screws it comes with, making sure that the SSD lines up so you can still screw it to the board later. And that's it. Okay, now we've got the same SSD setup as before, and I've saved myself £90. Fitting it is exactly the same as before, so we need to line the drive up, plug it in, and then use that provided screw and spacer to pop it into place. Then we need to replace the metal cover over the bay, which again fits perfectly.
How to take sides. How to install SSD in PS5.
PlayStation 5 users can add a supported M.2 SSD with a cooling structure to expand their PS5 console storage. In this video, we will go over a step-by-step process to successfully install your extended storage device. Please note that you need to use an M.2 SSD with a cooling structure, such as a heatsink, that meets the required specifications. For more information on the required specifications, please visit playstation.com/support. In this video, we're using an M.2 SSD with a double-sided heatsink. After you have purchased your supported M.2 SSD and its compatible cooling structure, you will also need a sturdy table in a well-lit room, a number 1 Phillips screwdriver, and optionally a soft cloth and a flashlight. If you're attaching a heatsink yourself, be sure to carefully read the instructions that will come with it. The heatsink must be situated carefully on the M.2 SSD so it does not block the connection points on either end. Once you have updated your PS5 to the latest version of the system software, you will need
I think I have to plug this in and update the system software first.
to turn off your PS5. After your PS5 console has cooled down, you will need to remove your console's base and any attached cables.
I'm still gonna watch this video, but then I'll probably end the stream and just do it off stream if I gotta go plug this thing in and do that.
Chad is saying that you need to.
Yeah.
Now that you have your PS5 prepared and your supported M.2 SSD with heatsink already attached, you are ready to install. To start, we recommend touching a metal-grounded object before we begin to remove any static electricity from your body. We recommend placing your console on top of a flat surface with a protective covering. Then position the console so that the PS logo is face down and the power button is facing away from you. Once your PS5 is in position, use your right hand to grip the edge of the bottom right corner and your left hand to grip the edge of the top left corner of the cover. Gently lift. Reattach the expansion slot cover and fasten it with its screw. Reattach the cover by positioning it slightly away from the top edge and sliding it back into place. You should hear an audible click when the cover is secured. Once you have successfully reattached your PS5 cover, reconnect all the cables and turn on your PS5. You should be greeted with the formatting guide. Follow the on-screen instructions and format your new M.2 SSD drive. Now that you have finished setting up your M.2 SSD, you'll be able to use your new extended storage space by moving the games and apps you've already downloaded onto it, or by choosing to download games and apps directly from PlayStation Store to the M.2 SSD. We hope you found this walkthrough helpful. If you would like to...
I miss memory cards. Amori Miku says, this is making me feel less weird about wanting to modify a Dreamcast, and Slow Dog says, IT guy here if you have any questions. I'm gonna try and set up the PlayStation 5 first until the update comes out. People said it's not happening until tomorrow. If so, I gotta wait anyway. Though I guess I could still put the thing in here, but that worries me. Eh.
And once done, we just need to replace the PS heatsink to prevent overheating. So with that in mind, let me show you which heatsink I've added and how...
Maybe I'll put it on the heatsink tonight and then just wait to install it until tomorrow.
easy it is to install. So these are the prices of the different sizes available with and without a heatsink. So I've gone for the 2TB drive without a heatsink. Now obviously these prices are going to fluctuate a lot over the coming months as more and more people wish to buy it, and obviously the manufacturers can sell more and probably bring those prices down. But the price...
Step 5, reconnect all the cables, turn it on, hope for no magic smoke. Would it actually mess up the console to install it first? I don't know. They said to update first though, and I'm not risking it. Both the console and the SSD were very expensive. And so I'd rather not.
The difference here between having a heatsink or not, especially on the 2TB drive that I've gone for, was about £100 at the time of ordering. And then for £10 I can get myself a heatsink. So all in all, about £90 saving for about 5 minutes of work. So this is the heatsink that I've gone for. I've put the name of it on screen now. Now you can either attach it via screws or you can use elastic bands. Now I've opted to use screws as I'm hoping that will last that little bit longer. And this is all you need to do. So you need to add the pink thermal pad to the bottom plate.
If you want to update it first because you have an SSD in the expansion slot before the update, it will tell you to remove the SSD slot to use the PlayStation 5. Makes sense.
Then put the SSD drive on.
Miss Moneybags? No. The SSD I used my Amazon card for and I'm going to be paying it off for months. Not that I'm broke or anything. I'll be able to pay it off. I'm fine. But like I finance that with my Amazon card.
then the blue thermal pad, followed by the top plate. Now once done, you just need
That's so fast.
SSD drive on. So you need to add the pink thermal pad to the bottom plate. Then put the SSD drive on, then the blue thermal pad, followed by the top plate.
Okay. That's simple enough, isn't it? Famous last words. Let's give it a shot. Let's go to this camera angle so you can see my face in HD glory as I try not to fuck this up. You do, but I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the. I'm still gonna install the heat sink tonight, so it's done. Just gotta get the sticky part off the other side. See, this is why I built a pre-built PC too. I don't trust myself. If the sticky part wants to come off this side. Why can't I get this? Like, I have nails now. Jesus. Would it be best if I stuck it on and then... Is it that easy to fill up a PS5? I just know my experience with the PlayStation 4. And I own a lot of games digitally. So I don't want to be juggling them constantly. Okay, I believe this goes this way. Let me double check.
Then put the SSD drive on, then...
Okay. Let's do this carefully. Ever so carefully. I think that did it.
And the blue thermal pad, followed by the top plate. Now, then put the all you need to do. So you need to add the pink thermal pad to the bottom plate. Then put the SSD drive on, then the blue...
Should be good. Another thermal thing. And then I just gotta screw it in. Ah. Okay, that's good. This part on. And it should be good to go for tomorrow. I just got to screw the screws in. That wasn't too bad. Screws are very tiny, though. That's annoying. Wait, is this screwdriver magnetic? No, that's annoying. I know this is riveting, folks. I just didn't want to do this without potential help. Of course, Baja could help, but some of you people I know are better with computers than I am, and you do PC stuff, so. I wanted people at my beck and call, just in case. The stream was honestly all a scam set up just in case I needed help installing an SSD ever, and now the usefulness has ended, so that's, you know, that's probably the end of the channel. I'm probably still going to open up the PlayStation 5 and just check and make sure it fits and stuff to make sure I didn't screw it up, and then I'll take it out, and then I'll go set up the PlayStation 5. I'm surprised 200 people are still here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I know this is boring. Here, I'll put something on. We'll continue that Captain Disillusion video. It's about conspiracy theories, kind of, so.
Turbines lift something that proportionally heavy. And where's the fuel supposed to be? The backpack? Oh, well, what kind of fuel is it? Well, how come the video has fake-looking edits during the landing? And I don't want to hear about how there are a bunch of other videos of uninterrupted takes showing an entire flight, or an official Guinness World Records-breaking flight in front of a huge crowd, when even a ufologist claims that the whole thing is an elaborate hoax. You know it's gotta be fake.
Debunked. What else you got? Talk to me, Facebook.
Let's see. When you get a chance, you know not right away, may you debunk this? I sure may, Zachary. Whatever this is, it's totally fake, because just look at it. Graphics don't float on water, they go on paper or skin. I certainly wouldn't be able to figure out how to do this, and Occam's razor dictates that therefore no one could. So even if we type the word that's under the video into the internet and find a detailed article about this printing technique, we can be sure that it's wrong. Wikipedia? Please, it's run by a cabal of critical thinking extremists obsessed with perpetual refinement of factual information through rigorous citation of credible sources.
You can't trust that.
That looks right.
But I don't have to tell you that. You're a proper skeptic. You know you can't trust anything you see on the internet or hear on the news anymore, period. End of thought process.
What's more likely? That flimsy explanations about exposure ratios, movement in a vacuum, or how Hollywood movie props aren't labeled with letters prove that we actually went to the frickin' moon like some sci-fi fairy tale? Or that maybe it was filmed on a soundstage as part of a global conspiracy by the all-powerful and extremely well-funded government organization NASA.
Come on. Humans getting into spaceships and risking their lives to prove that the Earth, our home, is just another rock in an endless void of rocks and dust? I'm not ready to accept that yet. I'm not ready to accept that Paul McCartney isn't a lookalike who was secretly enlisted into the Beatles after the real Paul died in a car crash in 1966. Look it up. The evidence is everywhere. And I'm not ready to accept that a group of deeply misguided individuals could put about as much effort as it takes to create one of my videos into destroying two of the tallest buildings in the most iconic city in the Western Hemisphere and killing 3,000 people. Those people must have been actors. They didn't die. The whole thing is a carefully orchestrated hoax by powerful people more capable than any of us. They do it all the time. When a natural disaster, a bombing, or a shooting causes innocent people to die, it's probably not real. And someone, even if they didn't have our best interest in mind, was in control. Because if no one was in control, that would be terrifying. Enough! It is terrifying, but the terror wears off. And if you're willing to endure feeling disillusioned for a while, you get to see the world through new eyes. A world where rationality and critical thinking lead to empathy and social growth.
Don't tell me about social growth.
Who are you?
I'm Zeitgeist, the spirit of the age. And they're with me.
If you're so popular, what's with the chameleon routine?
The Zeitgeist tends to change.
Well, I tend to kick the ass of anyone who kidnaps me and messes with the minds of my viewers. So let's settle this.
This guy is honestly awesome, by the way. If you are not familiar with Captain Disillusion, here's a channel to binge for you. He debunks videos and stuff. He's a visual effects artist, so he debunks a lot of visual effects stuff. He's great. I'm gonna pause this real quick though, because I need to know how to remove PS5 plates. So I want to test and make sure this is good.
Taking the side plates seem a little more difficult than what they really are. It's actually pretty simple. What you want to do is you want to make sure you have the PlayStation laying in front of you in a way that in the top right, the PlayStation logo is right there at the top. And you want to take your hand under the top right and kind of bend up just a little bit where the PlayStation logo is. Then on the bottom left, you want to kind of put your hand there, put a little bit of pressure so that you're pushing up and sort of pushing down at the same time. And what you want to do is kind of slightly pull up on the top right there, push down and slide. And while you do that at the same time, you should hear a little bit of a pop, a little slight pop. Don't have to do it too heavy or you scratch it a little bit. But when you do that, boom, the side plate will come off and you have access right there into the
other side.
PS5. And you can flip it over to the other side and do the exact same thing and just slide it off just like that. And what's pretty cool is that now you have access to everything inside to be able to clean it a little bit better.
Okay. How in the F? That didn't help me at all. Yes!
You'll also have access.
Alright. Flip it over.
I only need this side.
Okie dokie. Alright, so he said to lift. Well, okay.
プレイステーション5です。サイズは幅 104mm、高さ 390mm、奥行き 260mm と PS4 より一回り大きくすることにより、処理能力や静音性の面で飛躍的な性能向上を実現しました。用のタイプ
I can't get a good grip on it because it's not directly in front of me.
のファンが内蔵されています。
I feel like we're doing it wrong because it shouldn't be this hard.
I'm not
後ろ
doing
の角を
anything wrong.
持ち上げて
I haven't even tried.
スライドすると外せます。こちらも後ろの角を持ち上げてスライドします。
Now, he popped it off in like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
ここに
kidding. He knows how to do it
No, I
already.
know, but that's why I don't
後ろの角
understand
を
what
持
we're
ち上
doing
げ
wrong.
て
We're not doing
スライドし
anything
ます。
wrong.
Slides towards that.
ここに冷却用のファンが内蔵されています。
Hey!
両側から大量の空気を吸い込みます。PS5 では2箇所にダストキャッチャーを設けました。ダストキャッチャーに溜まったホコリはこの2箇所の穴から掃除機で吸い出すことが可能です。将来の拡張ストレージ用として PCIe 4.0
Okay. While I do this, let's do a different one of the. Oh, well, finish.
Tonight, honey, I have a headache.
Eating my food.
Sorry. Thank you.
Listen to me. The power to tell real from fake doesn't come from being a world expert or mistrusting every single thing you see. It comes from an honest willingness to change your opinions and beliefs based on new facts. So learn to enjoy being wrong. The world might start making more sense. You won't feel quite as out of step with the rest of humanity. Your words won't cause needless pain to people who suffered real tragedies. And the words of others won't sway you into believing myths over truth. You'll be able to love with your heart, but use your head for everything else.
Yay! It fits. And I can just screw this in tomorrow. Cool. Beautiful. Now I just have to store this until tomorrow when I can do the update or whatever. Perfect. I know what I'll do. I'll take this thing out of the box, store it in this box.
Well, 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 look who's come crawling back for another episode. It's the people who love me, the artist formerly known as Captain Disillusion, heretofore to be referred to as the Big D. That's right. That's called a jump cut. Ooh, hat hair. After my recent publicity stint and views bump, it's become clear that I gotta get a little more professional about this whole YouTube thing. You know, talk a little bit faster, cut a little bit sooner. I'm talking daily videos, broader topics, and above all, fan engagement. So what do you guys got for me? Hey Captain, I recently saw this video online and being naturally skeptical, thought you might find it interesting. What the hell is wrong with you, Kyle? When I was like 15 years old, I fell in love with the skeptic. Whoa. Oh, mindset. Ah, come on, give me something to work with. Oh, here's one. There's not even a message, it's just a video. Like, do this one. Debunk boy? Okay, are we really, is this really what's gonna happen? Is this what we're doing? I'm gonna have to, okay, let's do it. That's fine. Well, look at the crazy Chinese man with the blanket of invisibility. How could this possibly be possible? Oh, wait, there's a disclaimer right there, not real. I'm so glad you told me that, because I was about to call the CIA. Tim, what do you want me to say about this? That we all of us in the entire world know that this is a green screen. Like he's holding a green cloth and then it's keyed out with the empty background from the beginning. Except of course, it's probably not green cloth because everything else around him is green. So it's probably blue, a blue screen like we've been using for 1,000,000 years. Which is another thing, people are always on my case about why do they use blue? Which I don't know why you even care about little historical details like that. I mean, yeah, when I was a
Alright, check out Captain Disillusion. I'm not gonna just play a bunch of his videos for you. But I did do like 1 and a 10th. He's great though. Here's a link to this video and his channel again. And then we're gonna do a raid or something, because I'm gonna go try and set this up, and I got boxes to... why did I say raid? But then I'll raid someone. Did I see Philip DeFranco refer to the quartering as neckbeard? That makes sense, because that's what he is. I say this as someone who used to have quite a prominent neckbeard. Who will we raid? Who will we raid? Didn't someone say something maybe about Jack earlier? I don't know. Sure, let's raid Jack. Alright, have a good night, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for some other kind of stream, whatever it happens to be. Not sure yet. I'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful evening. Good night. 3, 2, 1. I never timed that right, huh? See you guys later.